Guangzhou on the left. Qingdao Clippers on the right, Mick.
Yeah, you see Jake Metz right there, number 8. Chailing Wong, number 62. Tyler Glasper.
That's tail, that's head. That'll be head, this will be tail. We'll flip the coin, and the winner will have the choice. Mr. Wong. Step here. Tails it is. You want to defer. Qingdao, defer. We'll receive. Gentlemen. Gentlemen, shake hands.
And we're about ready to go. And Mick, let it be recorded, the historic first coin toss in the history of the CFL was from my quarter that I remembered to bring.
And it's a good thing you did, otherwise it might not have taken place.
Listen. Here we go. Guangzhou lined up on the right, the Guangzhou Power in the white and the black. The Clipper in the left in the resplendent blue with the red trim. When we come back, we will kick off professional football in China. You're watching it live with us from Beijing on One World Sports. Mick Moningham will have the play-by-play call when we come back.
Something amazing is happening in China. America's most popular sport has arrived. 6 cities, 6 powerful teams. What is to be won? The title. Champions of the first inaugural season of the new China Arena Football League is here now. The CAFL Super Series. Beijing Lions, Shanghai Skywalkers, Qingdao Clipper, Dalian Dragon Kings, Shenzhen Naya, Guangzhou Power. 6 weeks, 6 teams. The CAFL Super Series. Learn more at CAFLChina.com and CAFLFootball.com.
The CAFL on One World Sports is brought to you by Spalding, the official football of the CAFL. By Zenith, the world leader in helmets and shoulder pads. By the Judge Group China. By Legend Sportswear, uniforms and apparel of the CAFL. By Sisu Mouthguards. By Smitty's Apparel for officials. By Lou Tilly Media, producers of the CAFL. By DJO Global. By Yu. By Eastern China Airlines. By Maritz Travel. And by the Doubletree Hotel by Hilton, Beijing.
Welcome back live to the LeSports Arena here in Beijing, China. The Guangzhou Power taking on the Qingdao Clipper in the first ever professional arena football game in the Republic of China. An outstanding crowd, not only here to check it all out with some interest, but they want to see exactly what's going to transpire here today. Right now, let's take a toss down to Sandra Parks as he's standing by on the sideline. Here's Sandra.
是 Sandra Parks， 我将会在 sideline 为你用普通话和英文一起做报道。Hello everybody, I'm Sandra Parks. I will be reporting from the sideline in both Mandarin Chinese and English. Now I'm going to talk a little bit about our series before the kickoff in Chinese, so the Chinese audience will know. Hello， 大家好，我们这一次的系列赛呢，总共有6个礼拜，每一个礼拜都是3场比赛。如果我们今天呢在北京，还有下午3点的结束，然后晚上7点还有一场。明天的下午3点，我们也会在这边举行。如果今天大家有空，不要忘记来看我们的球赛。下个礼拜我们会在大连举行3场比赛，之后会到青岛、广州、深圳，最后在上海会结束我们的中国碗。我们的门票呢都可以在官网上购买 www.caflchina.com， 所以希望你们能够来为我们加油捧场。 Now I'm going to talk a little bit about the series in English. So everybody here, we are having a 6-week tour. Every week we have 3 games. Today we're in Beijing, and next week we're going to be in Dalian. Later we'll be in Qingdao, Guangzhou, Shenzhen, and conclude the season in Shanghai. So we hope you will join us either on oneworldsports.com, or even if you're in China, come see a game. You can purchase the ticket on www.cflchina.com. 希望大家能够来支持我们的球队，然后我们将现场交回给Lou and 我们交回给我们的上面的摄影棚。So now back to you guys.
So we are set for the opening kickoff here in China. Just made history with a first bilingual sideline reporter as well.
How about that? Nice job, Sandra. No easy task.
So Qingdao Clipper ready to kick it away. Xiaoran Li will do the kicking duties. He is actually a native of Qingdao, playing for his Qingdao Clipper. Good look at Xiaoran Li right there. Actually, he's going to be working on game 2.
What a moment here. What a moment. The first ever professional moment in the history of China. U.S.-style football underway.
Dwayne Brooks is the returner. Takes it about 4 yards deep in the end zone. Picks up a block. Comes across the 20. He's at the 25 and finally brought down. And Xiaoran Li makes the first tackle.
How about that?
In the CAFL.
We thought the kicking game would be hugely important here, and a reminder for our fans who are just joining us, we are live in Beijing, China, the China Arena Football League, and it's a mix of U.S. pros predominantly and Chinese players. There are 4 Chinese players and 4 foreign players on each of the 8-man teams that are on the field right now.
J.J. Raderink's your quarterback. A very storied career, broke of all Kurt Warner's records when he played for the Iowa Barnstormers. Sends Dwayne Brooks in motion, quick toss, that ball is bobbled and incomplete. The intended receiver was Qingdao Clipper.
And that's one of the Chinese players, and they are entirely new to football. Not since we started our amateur league here 4 years ago. When I say we, the CAFL, 6 universities where we started playing arena football. So they're only 4 years into the game, and catching the ball is a foreign concept to most Chinese. They don't play any sports where you catch the ball, man.
Got to protect your quarterback, too, is David Wong out of Virginia Tech is up front with Hao Guo. And also Brennan Carvalho, that's your offensive front for the Guangzhou Power on 2nd and 10 at the 19-yard line. This will be Qingdao Clipper coming in motion. And Raderink has to throw it away, looking for his tight end. Incomplete as David Wong broke free, but the ball was overthrown.
And welcome to the CAFL, J.J. Raderink. He caught a blindside blitz, a blocker, a defensive lineman, a Chinese lineman came in untouched. J.J. backpedaled, threw it away, but took a big blow.
Well, like I said, you got to keep the quarterbacks upright.
Yeah.
And he's facing a pretty good defensive front, too, when you have Matt Moss, who came out of Texas A&M, and Jake Metz, the Defensive Player of the Year from the AFL, up front.
That wasn't Jake.
So this turns into a 3rd down play. 3rd and 10 at the 19. Raderink wants to throw. He's looking for Brooks, overthrown and incomplete.
Our scoreboard says 1st and 10. It's now 4th and 10. Some of the kinks that we're ironing out here as we work with our Chinese friends who are part of our great production team here. 37 men and women working on our scoreboard and trying to put it all together for the first time.
It's an entirely new sport to the production staff here as well in Beijing. Like American football, huh?
So it's 4th down and 10.
4th and 10 at the 19-yard line. Raderink under center sends Lavaja Tuane in motion.
Big target.
He's looking for Tuane to the end zone. One-handed catch. I think he's got it. That's a touchdown. Lavaja Tuane on a 4th and 10 at the 19 goes up and has the first touchdown of the history of the CAFL.
Look at him, and he gives the Asian bow to the crowd. Tuane at 6'5", 240 pounds. Watch him on a perfectly timed play from Raderink. And look at the target as he cuts to the corner. One-hand grab there by Tuane, product of University of Oregon. We're on the scoreboard, Mick.
So on for the extra point is Alex Carter. The placement down, the kick is on the way, and this one is good. So we have Guangzhou, a 7-0 lead over Qingdao. And we'll be back in a moment here on One World Sports as we continue with our coverage.
Tell them again.
Well, welcome back here to Beijing. 4 plays to go, 19 yards. The first touchdown ever. J.J. Radering to Bavaja Tuane. And now the Qingdao Clipper will have to answer.
Great kick return to set it up by Brooks all the way down to the 19, but then on 3 failed plays on 4th down, Radering looks to one of his American standbys, Tuane out of the University of Oregon, 6'5", 240 pounds. What a target, but what a great one-hand catch to get us underway.
See, Alex Carter has things teed up at the goal line, ready to kick it away.
The backup quarterback for Guangzhou. Guangzhou, we should point out, Mick, the basics. The Clipper, you see him there, representing the town of Qingdao, like the beer. Guangzhou, the great industrial city to the south. And they're in the basic white with the black trim and the silver helmets, not unlike they're called the Power. See the muscular arm on the helmet there. I love that look. Easy for us to read. Qingdao, you can see in the sky blue with the red trim, Mick. They're from the town of Qingdao. It's on the sea. They call themselves the Clipper. It's a seaside resort.
Well, back deep, ready to get this kick is big play Reggie Gray.
And they're already thinking onside kick here. Look at this, Mick.
It's true. You see a lot of onside kicks in the Arena League. And I know that going to practice teams have really been working on that.
You can see the kicker aligning some of the young Chinese players who must be very nervous, Nick.
But knowing that Carter is really a quarterback, I don't expect him to do the onside kick here early. There are some teams that have more experienced kickers.
For that point,
I think that'll come into play.
But maybe they will because he can't kick it deeper. I don't know. We'll see.
Reggie Gray is back. He's one of the top returners from the AFL. Last play with Jacksonville. So Carter has it teed up. We're set. Guangzhou with a 7-0 lead, and here's the kick. And this will be taken about 8 yards deep. Gray comes up to the 10, slips and goes down at the 14-yard line. So it'll be 1st and 10 at the 14. For the Qingdao Clipper and Brian Randall, the quarterback. You remember him playing for Virginia Tech. Won an ACC title back in 05 and took his team to the Sugar Bowl. So 1st and 10 at the 14-yard line. As Rutledge, Guo, and Wong are the front line, and he's throwing deep on the first play. Incomplete as he was looking for by Haotiar Tershun. Incomplete.
Well, there you see the inexperience of the young Chinese players, obviously on the fly pattern, and he had the speed to get open, Mick, but he cut off his route, not thinking his quarterback could actually reach him.
Well, there's Brian Randall, and you take a look at his numbers. Yes, you have kilograms, and you have the fact that he came out of Virginia Tech. You won't see a graphic like that in the U.S., Luke.
No, that's right, Nick. We're giving you the graphics in both languages because we're simulcast here in China on national TV.
2nd and 10, ball at the 14-yard line. That's the first I've ever seen that. Here comes Gray in motion, but they throw underneath. Tersoon makes the catch, and he's popped by Tyler Glasper, who last played with the Arizona Wranglers in the Arena Championship game.
By the way, when I say we're being simulcast in China, that's true, but not our voices, Nick. We're only being heard on One World Sports in the United States, but next to us is Wushi Lu and Dayton Wang, who are a Chinese announce crew. We'll show them to you a little bit later, and they're providing the commentary to China.
Football's at the 19-yard line. So it's about 3rd down and 5 at the 19. Randall sends Gray in high motion. Double pump, just avoided one tackler, now throws and incomplete. Good pressure put on up front by Frank Trotter.
Well, this is the mismatch as the coaches are playing chess. A reminder again, there are 4 Chinese players active and on the field at all times for each team, and 4 mostly Americans. They call them foreign players here. And so the coaches are trying to line up the Americans against the Chinese in some case, which is a bit of a mismatch.
I like Cameron McGlynn just at the top of your screen doing a little dance as the music plays. 4th and 5 at the 19, and we'll see what Randall has up his sleeve here as he sends Tersoon in motion. It is Gray making a catch. He's unprotected to the 10, 5, touchdown! So each quarterback throwing a touchdown on 4th down as big play Reggie Gray is in the end zone, a point away from tying up the game.
Look at Reggie Gray introducing the touchdown dance to the Chinese. This is all new. And this is all good stuff, as both teams have scored on their first possession, and on both teams on 4th down, Nick.
Another look at it. Missed tackle there. John DeChen was a lone man on the edge who had a chance to get him, and once Gray got by him, he was gone.
Well, this is the thing for the Chinese players. They've really not had real live action against these seasoned and strong American pros, and you saw what can happen.
Xiaoran Li is on for the extra point. The placement down. The kick is up, and this one is no good. So the score is 7-6 as the Guangzhou Power lead the Qingdao Clipper. Another look at the touchdown as we go to break. Big play Reggie Gray getting into the end zone. Back in a moment on One World Sports. We're joined by Brian Randall, the quarterback of the Qingdao Clipper, and a lot of fans are going to be looking at football for the first time. So if you were going to tell somebody in China what the quarterback is, who he is, what would you tell them?
Well, the quarterback is basically your leader of your team. He's a guy who, gets more credit than he deserves when you win, and takes a lot of bad credit, when you lose a game. But he's a guy who you're always looking at because he has so much control of the game.
What kind of relationship do you have with your players when you get in the huddle?
Well, first of all, you want them to respect you. You want your guys in your huddle to understand that, whatever you say in that huddle, you have their best interest in mind. So you really just want to take control. You want to let the guys know what the play is and have confidence when you're calling that play so everybody knows you're about to execute that play.
How much of a challenge is it here because a lot of the players in the huddle may not understand what you're talking about?
It's been pretty difficult. So what we're doing hand signals. I'm trying to take it upon myself to learn a couple words, in Mandarin so that we can get on the same page, and they're trying to do the same thing as well. So it's a lot of communication going on more than usual inside a huddle, just trying to get the play across.
And as a quarterback, you have to be knowledgeable all the plays, and you have to have that special relationship with your coach too.
Absolutely. You and your coach have to be on the same page. If not, you're not going to be successful. So I want to be an extension of him on the field.
Brian Randall, thank you for taking time for us, and good luck down the road with the Qingdao Clipper.
Thank you. Go Clippers.
Welcome back, and a good look at big play Reggie Gray into the end zone. Has his team now a point away as it is 7-6 Guangzhou, and here's the kick by Xiaoran Li. Here is Brooks at the 4-yard line, and he goes straight up the middle across the 15. They're going to push him up to the 20. Still going. That's more of a rugby scrum up to about the 22-yard line.
Well, it's funny for the Chinese fans who are watching U.S.-style football for the first time ever in the nation's history here right now. They call this on the street collision ball or smash ball because to their eyes it's just 16 guys smashed into each other, just like you saw there to some extent it is. But what we're trying to do, and we've been trying to do for 4 years here on the ground with our media and our events, is to teach them about the strategies and the responsibilities. And the reason that they're in a huddle right now is to lay out a planned play. These are all new concepts to the Chinese fans.
When we talked to J.J. Raderink earlier in the week, he says, yeah, a huddle, it's kind of like that little group meeting before we decide what we want to do.
Exactly.
1st and 10, 22-yard line. As Yu Fu goes wide to the far side, Brooks is in motion. Raderink's looking now to his left. He's looking deep, overthrown, incomplete. Shin to Chu was the intended receiver. He last played for the Wuhan Institute.
He's one of the college kids that we talked about. The CAFL started 6 college programs here almost 4 years ago. And these are the first classes of graduates that we're seeing playing in our pro league.
J.J. Raderink, 6'2", 205 out of Longmont, Colorado. Played college ball in Wyoming. Like we said, his last team, Las Vegas, in the AFL in 2015. He set records also in Los Angeles and Iowa as well. Actually covered him in the Quad Cities in the AF2 years ago. 2nd and 10, 22-yard line. And here's Tuane in motion, Lou. He had the touchdown catch. Little toss to Brooks. Sidesteps one and reverses his field to the left. But back to about the line of scrimmage.
Nice comeback block there by
Hao Young.
Yeah, Hao Young, the Chinese, showed great instinct in peeling back once Brooks broke off the play, peeling back and got enough of a chip block that almost sprung Brooks for a big game. All right, we got the down and distance right. We're getting along. We're coming along. 3rd and 10.
At the 22-yard line.
We're learning, baby. We're learning.
Only took 1 series. It only took 1 series.
Nice crowd here, too. And by the way, we're looking at one side of the field. There are actually more people to our side here. I'd say there's 6,000 or 7,000 here.
Raderink sends Tuane in motion. He's looking his way. Makes the catch at the 20-yard line. Still going. Hard to bring down. He's got a 1st down and more as he's going to be close to the 10-yard line.
And again, the Chinese are in their first test of full contact. He absolutely pancaked number 6, the Chinese defender who came up and had no chance against the 240-pounder. Watch it again here, Mick. It's a simple little hitch route. Pulls up. Now watch the point of contact there. Wow. No contest. In fact, he pancakes 2 before he goes to the ground.
And he ran over Rashawn Kaiser, too.
Well, Rashawn is a ball hawk, but he's not known for his tackling even in the U.S.
Yeah, we gave away a lot because he's only 5'10", and, Tuane goes 6'4". 1st and 10 at the 11-yard line. See what Raderink and company do here. Chow comes in motion. Oh,
that's a lateral. That could have been rolled a lateral, but they've blown it dead. And I should point out that we have no instant replay here. Not yet in China. There's David Wang, the number 1 draft pick of the CAFL, Mick, when we did that back in June. And he counts as a Chinese player in the draft because his parents are both of full Chinese heritage. But he played and starred at Virginia Tech, and now he's a pro in his hometown.
I said, the biggest game you ever played in the homeland? He goes, well, I do like the time that Virginia Tech beat Ohio State in the horseshoe.
Right. That was the same year that we then beat Virginia Tech. Go figure.
Oh, you're going at Wake Forest, Tommy. Yeah, he is a Wake Forest alumni, Lou Tilley. We're looking at 2nd and 10 at the 11-yard line. Chow goes in motion. And Raderink throws near the goal line. Caught by Brooks at the 2.
That's a nice play by Raderink. That's just instinct. He had to roll a little bit with pressure coming from his left. And the ball a little bit behind Brooks, but using his hands, reached behind him, kept his body under control, took a hit, and got it down inside the 5.
3rd and 1 coming up. They're going to call it, then it'll be 3rd and 2 at the 3-yard line. They can get a 1st down at the 1-yard line, can the Guangzhou Power, as they lead it by a score. Well, I guess that extra point was good. Originally, I thought it was no good. It's 7-7.
We have a terrible angle. Our booth, if you want to call it that, is in the, we're actually on the goal line. Even though we rented the arena, we got put on the goal line to watch the game.
And we did not get a signal either. But regardless, here is a handoff. It is Brooks to the goal line. Did he break the plane?
They say no.
No.
Good surge by the Clipper defense right at the goal line. Looked like he was in, didn't it?
I thought he broke the plane, but that's not the case.
And again, we're down at the other goal line.
It's true.
It's hard for us to see.
But he might have got the 1st down. It is. So it comes to 1st and 10 at the goal line, which is the 1. Off the run by Brooks, good for 2 yards. So just 1 yard to go. Great look down the line here.
Run the fullback here, Mick. That's traditional.
Well, possibly.
The Chinese could be the first. No, Radarink on the sneak.
And JJ breaks the plane. He's in the end zone for the touchdown. The Guangzhou Power have scored again. So Radarink scores his first rushing touchdown. It's now 13-7.
You know, we thought that because of the relative inexperience that these might be low-scoring games. And here's Radarink, basic sneak. You all know this back in the States. Good surge by his offensive line. Probably the best offensive line in the young league. And there's JJ without his helmet on. Aspiring TV guy, by the way. And the kick's no good.
Carter's kick is no good. So the score remains 13-7 as the Guangzhou Power lead the Qingdao Clipper in our first ever game.
We call it the Super Series, guys. And that means we're on tour in China. We begin here in Beijing this weekend. We'll play 3 games, 2 of them today. Our second game coming your way back in the States and in Canada and in the Western Hemisphere at 7 a.m. your time. And here's a look at the schedule. Next week we travel to Dalian. The town of Dalian is our second stop next weekend. And we'll be playing 2 games on Saturday again. That's Guangzhou, the team you're watching now, versus Shanghai, the Skywalkers. And in the nightcap, for you, 7 in the morning, Shenzhen versus Beijing. I'm sorry, pardon me. We're playing all 3 games on Sunday next week because of a national holiday. So next Sunday, the 9th, 3 games right here on One World Sports. Guangzhou versus Shanghai at 11 a.m. That's 11 p.m. for you. Shenzhen versus Beijing at 3 a.m. And God bless you if you're watching us. And then Qingdao versus Dalian in the nightcap here. And it's your good morning game back in the USA on One World Sports. That's all next Sunday. The CAFL and the Super Series 2016.
7-play drive as the Guangzhou Power are powering their way to a lead here. First stop here in the Super Series. Hope you're enjoying it. So a good look at JJ Radarink as he scores the touchdown to put Guangzhou back on top by a score of 13-7. There is Reggie Gray as he awaits the kick.
Should point out the head coach of the Guangzhou Power, Ernesto Pernsley, Neto Pernsley, a veteran of the AFL. We'll talk about him and his assistants, including Dustin Barno and Robert Wong, David's dad.
Carter's kick goes into the stand.
Well, that answers my question. He's got enough leg to get it down there.
Yes, he does.
Yeah. But he hooks it wide to the netting. And we're playing by the United States AFL rules, the Arena Football League of the United States. And because it technically is an out-of-bounds kick, we'll mark it all the way up at the 20.
That's a great field position when you talk about what Coach Rod Miller and Brian Randall have to operate with here on 1st and 10 coming up at the 20-yard line.
Rod Miller, the head coach of Qingdao, Qingdao, another veteran of the Arena Football League, last coach in Philadelphia with the Soul.
Xavier Boyce is in the slot.
Big, tall receiver, another good target.
Tiantu Zhang comes in high motion, but the handoff goes to the fullback. And they'll run straight forward on 1st down.
What a moose of a fullback, a 315-pounder. But just to keep him honest, Qingdao's going to run him every once in a while, not just in there as a blocker.
Jason Holman, 6'3", 315. Last play with the Jacksonville Sharks.
And you're going to hear a lot of Philadelphia Soul influence here because the ownership of the CAFL, they are the owners of the Philadelphia Soul, including Ron Jaworski and my partner in Lou Tilly Media, Marty Judge. So they brought a lot of players with Soul connections over to China.
2nd and 7 at the 23. Boyce, who has good up, slips, and it goes behind him. I think that slip cost him that pass right there.
The turf here, first time we're using it, is a little bit long, literally. The blades are a little bit long. Players had a little problem with footing. They haven't been on this field until just this morning, Mick. We were not able to install it because of the Chinese rules here until earlier this morning.
Some of the players decided to go with more of like a sneaker-like bottom as opposed to the cleat.
And others have long cleats like you might see in the old days outside. They'll probably make adjustments at the half. You saw a slip right there.
3rd and 8 at the 23-yard line.
See the player with his hand raised. He's eligible for a pass.
They designate him as the tight end. Motion here. Going deep on the deep route. This is overthrown and almost intercepted as Cameron McGlenn broke that up. Incomplete, intended for Tianchu Zhang.
That's the fourth time you've seen them send the Chinese wide receivers long. And the question I keep getting here, Mick, is are they any good? And I say that the athletes are fine. They can run. You can see they're open. They're fast. They're strong. But they don't have the experience to stick to the route and make the play and run it out. They break off their routes, and the ball was overthrown again. So that's inexperience.
Well, the other thing, too, is a lot of times the Chinese receiver will draw the one-on-one coverage.
It's timeout on the field.
So we have a timeout.
The end of the quarter.
And the quarter has come to an end as well. 13-7. Guangzhou, back in a moment on One World Sports.
CAFL 中国美式室内橄榄球从理想变为现实。创始人马蒂·加季，加季集团总裁，费城灵魂队的投资人之一。时机就是一切，政府铺平了发展体育的道路。2012年 ，AFL 美国室内橄榄球发起进攻全球市场的策略。CRFA 中国橄榄球协会发出正式推荐信函。AFL Global 全球美式室内橄榄球联盟开发全面的推广中国橄榄球联赛的计划，创立了中国大学联赛，并在北京体育大学举办了第一个橄榄球训练营。在北京首都体育馆进行了第一次专业表演赛，并通过北京电视台播出。CAFL 中国美式室内橄榄球联盟拉开了在中国开展公开选拔赛的序幕。比赛时间和地点：10月1日周末北京乐视中心，10月8日周末大连体育中心，10月15日周末青岛市国信体育馆，10月22日周末广州体育馆，10月29日周末深圳大运体育中心，11月5日周末上海东方体育中心。
And welcome back from Beijing, the initial football game in the history of the CAFL. Before we start the second quarter, Sandra Parks is standing by with a very special man who played in the NFL. He's part of that Wong family, and he's part of our team now here in the CAFL. Let's go down to Sandra with Ed Wong.
He operations in Beijing, Ed Wang, who's also a former NFL player. 我现在在这边呢，跟我们的北京办公室的主管王凯一起谈一谈他对这次NFL CFL 的那个看法。我想要请问一下，就是你从第一天到现在开始看中国球员的进步，还有他们的过程，你觉得是什么样的情况呢？
我觉得他们进步很多了可是他们第一天训练有点紧张，你可以看出来。可是你看今天他们打的比赛，我觉得挺好的。
So I think Ed has been seeing them progressing from like being a little bit nervous. Now they're feeling a little bit more relaxed now. 那我们也知道说你的弟弟也在里面打球，想要问一下，以哥哥的一个心情，你要跟他说些什么呢？
我就跟他说加油我今天看他的打的比赛挺高兴我觉得他打得挺好的。
Well, I asked if what would he say to his younger brother about his performance so far, and he said, "Go get them." And now back to the guys.
He's talking about his brother David Wong, who we just mentioned, the first-round draft pick, and his father is out there as a coach of Guangzhou today.
It's the first family of football. Of course, his mom and dad were Olympians in China, and his brother now playing on the field. He played in the NFL. It doesn't get much more family-oriented than that here in the CAFL. We're looking at a 4th and 8 to start the fourth quarter for the Guangzhou Power.
Second quarter.
Second quarter.
No problem.
No problem. Gray goes in motion. Randall looking his way, off his hands and incomplete.
Who hit him? He took a belt down there at the 10-yard line. I think he may have heard it coming, that freight train coming his way.
Virgil Gray was in on the hit down there. Mixing up with Reggie Gray.
So it's a turnover on downs. Virgil Gray, defender, played in the AFL. I told you, I've been running into him every night. He's been eating at McDonald's every night, along with his mom, who's here all the way from Georgia to watch.
You know, you want to stay tuned after this one on World Sports. You'll have Dalian taking on Shenzhen. That would be the Dalian Dragon Kings and the Shenzhen Naja. The Naja drafted more Chinese players than any other team, so they've really been working at keeping the local talent home.
And guess what? They've got some surprises. Their coach is going to do some things a little different than we're used to seeing in arena-style football. Jake Metz, defensive end, all-star, defensive player of the year in the AFL, had found out his roster had one team short out there and called the Chinese player onto the field in time.
1st and 10, 23. Flag on the play. Raderink throws complete to Tuane.
And that's why.
I think this is coming back.
That's why you saw the flag. It was the middle linebacker who was late getting on the field, and Metz was trying to put him in the right position. Chinese player still not sure about things, and he jumped. The MAC linebacker, the middle linebacker in the AFL rules, is not allowed to move. If he jumps, it's just like an offensive lineman.
Second neutral zone. Defense. 5-yard penalty. Replay, first down.
And that's our referee. We're getting to hear his calls live. That was a bit of a challenge the last couple of days. And part of our colorful crew of referees who are also here, the officials from all around the world.
The 1st and 5 at the 18-yard line.
It's referee R.J. Detillier calling the game for us.
Tuane comes in motion. Raderink looks to his left, throws. It's intercepted. That one's picked off. First interception, Shea Lee Ha.
Holy cow.
So the first interception by a Chinese player in the CAFL, and that's Shea Lee Ha from Wuhan Institute.
Chinese player intercepting former All-AFL quarterback J.J. Raderink. JJ's quite a character, right? And last night I introduced him. Here it is. Nice drop and play on the ball. I introduced JJ to defensive back James Romaine of Philadelphia Soul, is a real ball hawk. And the first thing JJ said to Romaine, he said, "Have I ever thrown one to you?" And Romaine said no, and he goes, "Well, that's rare for me because I'm trying to get everybody in the AFL before I retire." And now he's going worldwide, getting picked off by a Chinese player.
So mark it down, Shea Lee Ha with our first interception, and now the Qingdao Clipper trailing 13-7, a chance to come back.
We had a timeout called by the Clipper. Want to make sure they've got all their T's crossed and I's dotted. They've called timeout.
Just a 30-second time.
Yeah, keep it right here. Rod Miller, the head coach of Qingdao. Ernesto Pernsley, the coach, is allowed on the field until we develop the helmet technology here. And if we're going to come up with some new technological advances, this is the right country to do it in.
Most likely.
Yeah. We've been here, by the way, the broadcasters, for the better part of a month now, getting ready along with the players. They've been in camp for about 4 weeks now. The Chinese players for a week until the Americans and the foreign players joined them 3 weeks ago. So really a limited amount of time to put it together. And I got to say, so far, I think they look terrific, especially the Chinese players.
Well, a lot of the mashups, you know, coaches always figure that it's going to come down to the Chinese players making plays that are going to be the difference in their team. And we just saw Hall's interception. So a chance to come back for Randall and company for the Qingdao Clipper. And there's the toss. It goes to Gray. Not much there as he's tackled at the 15-yard line.
Nice play.
Frank Trotter on the step.
Guangzhou is a strong squad. Pernsley put a lot of time and effort into the draft. Most of these head coaches came over to China and spent time here and scouted these players in person. There were 2 hell of tryout camps held, one in Beijing and one in Shanghai, thanks to Operations Director Ken Bozart, Derek Branch, and Ed Wang. And that's where most of these players came from, those 2 tryout camps. And our coaches took note.
2nd and 10, 15-yard line. Jason Holman lines up in the backfield.
Versatile player.
Reggie Gray goes in motion. 3-step drop by Randall. Eludes one tackler. Throws complete. And the pass is caught by Tianchu Zhang.
And we're popping now, folks. We're playing real football. Cameron McGlenn, known as a hitter in the AFL out of Elon, 6 foot there he is, 190 pounds, came up and really laid a lick on him. U.S.-style football, and you're seeing the countries really getting to know each other right here.
Still, it's a positive play. 3rd down coming up with the football spotted just on the 24-yard line.
3rd and short. You know, I was down there before the game teaching them how to run the chains, how to mark the chains down here, Mick. We've been doing it all. It's a team effort, but we're way to a good start.
John goes in motion. Here is Holman running for the 1st down. He's got it, as he's going to be upended at about the 21.
Zhu Lian, a Chinese linebacker at just 185 pounds, trying to line up 315-pound Jason Holman. Hello, young man. Welcome to American-style football.
Yeah, they call Leon Derek, I believe. That's his kind of nickname.
Yeah, most Chinese people, even when they come over to our country, you know this, they take on American names. It's kind of interesting what they come up with. Derek.
So they have 1st and 10 with the football spotted at the 21-yard line after the run by Holman. Here is a toss complete to about the 11-yard line.
Wide open.
And that is Tersoon making the catch by Altiar Tersoon.
And that was Chinese on Chinese. It was number 8, Zhang Da Chen, the defensive back on the coverage, 5'9", 180 pounds out of Chitong City. And he was way too loose, Nick, and didn't look too eager to come up and make the tackle either.
Goes for a 1st down. 1st and 10 at the 11-yard line as we have 9:20 remaining here in our 1st half. 13-7 Guangzhou, but Qingdao driving and a chance to tie up this ball game or even take a lead. So Randall sends a man in motion. Here's Holman.
Nice
He'll
tackle.
carry down till about the 6-yard line.
Nice tackle.
That was McGlenn on the stop, along with Jamal Giddens.
Jamal Giddens made the solo tackle, really. An American player, 6'1", 230 pounds, from Norfolk, Virginia, played at Norfolk State. That's down by the Chesapeake, down by Williamsburg, Norfolk, that area down there, Virginia Beach. Hotbed of football, really, in America.
2nd and 6 at the 7.
That's a heck of a takedown. It was 230 against 315, but good form and leverage.
Tersoon goes wide to the far side. Zhang to the left. Gray in motion. And here is Gray to the end zone. He could not pull it in. Good coverage by Virgil Gray on Reggie Gray. Incomplete.
Nice matchup. And the crowd is already starting to learn the game. I noticed, that's what I'm watching, Vic, things like that. And they were up on their feet when they saw the ball up in there. They love to see the ball fly, either by passes or even kicks.
You heard a little ooh and ah as he couldn't make that catch.
Nice touch here by Randall. Put it to the only place where the receiver could catch it, not the defender, because there was good coverage by Virgil Gray.
They can still get a 1st down near the goal line. 3rd and 6 coming up here at the 7. .46 on the clock moving.
I'm waiting for Randall to use his legs. At Virginia Tech under Frank Beamer, he ran the read option pretty well. He was pretty quick in his day. A little older now.
2-step drop, quick toss, complete, and he's not going to get in. That catch was by Tian Chu Jung. And he's stood up at about the 2.
By McGlenn, who came up and is really asserting himself now. That's number 20, Cameron McGlenn, from the defensive backfield with the long locks. And he put a good hit. It looked like it was a touchdown. Knocked him out at the 2.
So we got 4th and 2 at the 3-yard line. So a 4th down play here as Qingdao trying to tie up the ball game. Looks like a player will line up on the long side.
Boy, Randall's coach out there, isn't he?
He's got to move his players around. Now he sends Jake Metz in motion. Here's a deep toss. There's a flag on the play. The player's in the end zone for the score, but a flag on the play as they ran Tian Chu Jung. But let's just hold on. It's a nice blocker to put in the path there, Jake Metz.
Looks like it's on Guangzhou, and the touchdown will stand. Preliminary indication by the players.
Looks like they've got the call here.
Listen.
There's no foul. for an illegal formation. The tight end was on the right side. The touchdown is good.
There's your explanation from R.G. Detillier.
To see it again, you mentioned it, Nick. You picked up on it. There's Metz, number 8. Now watch him as he turns upfield, and he buries the corner, McGlenn, who's been the best defender so far for Guangzhou. Took him out of the play and paved the way for the Qingdao touchdown.
Hey, it was Tanner Varner on the carry.
Varner, another veteran, normally a defensive back. Veteran with the soul. A number of AFL teams, now in his mid-30s.
So here's the kick. This is blocked, and it can be returned. It's covered, and the play will end right there. So the PAT blocked, and our score remains 13-all as we have 6 minutes and 16 seconds to play here in our first half. A lot of excitement there. So we will take a timeout. You're watching the CAFL on One World Sports, and we'll be back in just a moment.
每队8名球员同时在球场上。球员可以负责进攻和防御。教练可在比赛进行时随意更换球员。4位进攻球员必须在争球线。3位防守球员必须做防守前锋，排队在3或4点姿势。他们必须队列在争球线2码或更多以外。交换位置或盘曲动作是不允许的。在中国，一个伟大的梦想正在变为现实。美国最流行的体育来到中国，6座城市，6个球队的争夺战，目标就是摘得首届中国橄榄球冠军头衔。6个星期，6个球队。了解 CAFL 全国职业室内橄榄球巡回赛详细信息，请访问 CAFLChina.com 和 CAFLFootball.com。
Welcome back here to the LeSports Center in Beijing. The cheerleaders on hand, as there's a lot to cheer about. The first turnover by a Chinese player. Hall with the interception leads to a touchdown, and we are tied 13-all between Guangzhou and Qingdao.
Here we go.
Here's the kick. Crowd loves to see the ball in the air. Here is Brooks on a return. Oh, he is stood up at the 11-yard line. Ready for this?
Who is that?
That is Elzat Aleem. Elzat Aleem coming up to make the hit. He was the captain of his college team, believe it or not. And so one of the Orientals making his statement. Ho-ho!
What college team, Nick? I can't find them.
You're going to ask me to pronounce that college team. Okay, Elzat Aleem played at
Qingdao. Yeah, it's easy.
Captain of his team.
Captain of his team. Well, that was a hell of a hit. I'm sorry, heck of a hit.
You ready for this? Well, you say that.
That was Chinese, folks.
He says football has helped his spiritual development.
Well, did mine. Boy.
1st and 10 at the 11, and it's a handoff play. Some running here.
Face mask?
Maybe. So the good run by Deshaun Johnson.
This is called the Super Series, folks, and it's 6 weeks and 6 different series beginning right now. You're watching history from Beijing, the LeSports Arena. Next week, we go down to Dalian for weekend number 2, 6 cities, 6 teams, 3 games in each market. Then in week number 3, it's on to Qingdao, and you're seeing their team represented here today on the field. Then down south we go to Guangzhou on the 22nd and 23rd, and then up to Shenzhen on the 29th and 30th, and we finish up with the China Bowl, our championship in Shanghai on November 5th and 6th.
High motion here for Chow. And Raderink going to hand off once again to Johnson. That didn't fool anyone as he goes down in a heap. Jake Metz was in on the tackle, number 8 right there. He's your Defensive Player of the Year from the AFL.
A sack master, MVP, the Arena Bowl champions, and 2 days later, Jake was signed by the Philadelphia Eagles of the NFL. He played in an exhibition game in his hometown in Philadelphia. What a thrill. They did let him go, and then he got on a plane, came right over here to become a standout in the brand new CAFL. Great story.
So 3rd and 6 coming up. Football at about the 18-yard line. Good look at Johnson. Raderick, one-step drop, quick toss, complete. That is Yu Fu who makes the catch.
Yeah.
And that's good enough for a first down.
Yu Fu, Chinese reception, yes. And I'm telling you, Mick, the Chinese kids are catching on quick. I can see the growth in the first 18 minutes of professional play here in China.
With a spot at the 24. You know, Raderick told me that Yu Fu and Shinda Chu are 2 really good receivers. He goes, kind of keep that under wraps. Well, now the first game is here. The cat's out of the bag.
Yeah, he broke off, as I said, a route earlier on, but this time he stayed with it, looked it into his hands, as we're all taught in the U.S. and Canada, and made the catch. Way to go.
Fu and Chow come to the near side. Tuane in the slot. Raderick, 3-step drop, looking for Tuane behind the coverage. He's in for the touchdown. Second touchdown catch of the day for Lavage Tuane.
That was a beautiful play. It was the same route that he scored on the first time, but this time Raderick on the money again, where only Tuane can catch it. And at 6'5", 240 pounds, caught it in stride. There was no chance of bringing that truck down. Played his college ball at the University of Oregon. Played some for Portland in the AFL this year. In fact, I called his game for the Soul out in Portland. Here he is in Beijing. 2 touchdowns.
So Tuane giving his team a 19-13 lead. Here's the kick by Carter. This is on the way. And this one is good.
Did you see the signal?
No,
I didn't. No.
There's no signal. But it's okay. It's a CAFL. The points are on the board. We're not giving them back. 20-13 our score as we have 2 minutes and 27 seconds to play here in our first half. A look at the touchdown as we go to break. J.J. Raderick. Tuane. Hope you're enjoying it. You're watching the CAFL on One World Sports. We'll continue with our coverage in just a moment.
美式橄榄球的跑位和全位排在攻防线的后方。全位主要的角色是接到4分卫的给球而快跑进攻，但有时候也会接4分卫的传球。他也经常必须为4分卫阻挡。跑位的角色对传球进攻和跑步进攻非常重要。他负责在跑阵模式时进攻，也像外接员一样，是4分卫主要传球的对象。优秀的跑位又快又精明，敏捷，必须准确的接球，又壮又快，随时为4分卫阻挡。在中国，一个伟大的梦想正在变为现实。美国最流行的体育来到中国，6座城市，6个球队的争夺战，目标就是摘得首届中国橄榄球冠军头衔。6个星期，6个球队。了解 CAFL 全国职业室内橄榄球巡回赛详细信息，请访问 CAFLChina.com 和 CAFLFootball.com。
And we're back in Beijing, ready for the kickoff. While you're away, we ran a 2-minute instructional video on how the game's played for the whole crowd, and they really seem to pay attention. I hope so. It's all new to them.
See what they learn here on this kickoff return by Reggie Gray all the way out to the 25-yard line.
We knew that the kickoffs would be explosive today because there are 4 Chinese on the cover team each time, and they're just not used to the full contact of this kickoffs, Nick. And they've just been getting plowed under by the blockers on each of these returns, except, as we saw, on the last kick.
That was a good wedge right there to open things up, though.
Well, that's my point. There's really only 4 guys in real coverage on these things, so we're going to see big kickoff returns here.
They still had to count on Chico Wong to make the tackle.
Right, he saved it.
So now Brian Randall and company get a chance to put some points on the board, maybe come back and tie up this game. It's a nice back-and-forth game.
It's a well-played game, and have you noticed the lack of penalty flags? And we thought we were going to be filled with them, yeah. And I give the officials credit. We had a meeting with them. We said, let's play no harm, no foul tonight.
Absolutely. Quick toss, Gray, complete at the 20-yard line, and brought down just shy of the 15.
A lot of pad. That play is there just about any time anyone wants it.
Zal Leon in on the tackle on Reggie Gray.
The officials, let's give them some creds and some props. R.J. Detillier is our referee. Terry Valente, female linesman from out of the San Francisco area, works for the San Francisco 49ers, going home to help on the replay during their games, in between games here. Terry's just running in now. You see her on the bottom of your screen, number 37. By the way, the officials' uniforms, all made by one of our sponsors, Smitty's.
We have 1 minute timing rules in effect. 1 minute timing rules in effect. Timeout.
We're in the final minute of each half. It's the 1 minute warning according to the rules of arena ball, and we revert after a running clock up till now. We revert to the traditional timing rules. Coming up in the Super Series next week, we'll be in this Dalian Superdome. Wait till you see these venues, folks, are spectacular, including here at Beijing, the LeSports Arena. Next Sunday, the 9th, Guangzhou versus Shanghai. We kick it off at 11 a.m. here, 11 p.m. back home. At 3 p.m., Shenzhen versus Beijing, 3 a.m. at home. And then at 7 p.m. here, it's Qingdao versus Dalian. That's 7 a.m. Monday morning on One World Sports. And for tickets and for information, go to our website, CAFLChina.com, and in the States, CAFLfootball.com. What were you saying, Ed, during the break there, Nick?
Well, you were talking about everybody has to do something here.
Right.
On the corner of the screen, you might have saw the T-shirts being tossed into the crowd.
Right.
Derek Brooks, who's one of the operations directors for the CAFL, along with the executive.
Derek Branch,
rather. Ed Wong. Throwing T-shirts. Here's a guy who played in the NFL. He's an executive for the league, and he's throwing the T-shirts. I love it.
Yeah, well, we're taking up the field and cleaning up the stands afterwards. Nick, I hadn't told you that
yet. No, you didn't. Yeah. But I'll be ready.
We're doing the wash, too.
That I was not prepared for.
And there it is. Next weekend, Nick will be in Dalian. I'm looking forward to that. A couple of these cities, I've been here 19 times over the last 5 years. I have not been to Dalian. I have been to...
And I hear it's beautiful.
Qingdao. Yeah, they say Dalian's a lot like San Diego. It's a seaside city. They call themselves the Clipper, or rather...
yeah. Well, Dalian
Dragon Kings, yeah. But Dalian and Qingdao, two seaside cities, a lot of sports and water enthusiasts. We look forward to that. And come along with us. We'll be taking you around town as well next week.
This is really interesting. The fact that we go from the six-city tour, Beijing, all the way to Shanghai to wrap it up with China Bowl. Unbelievable. So we are set for the continuation here in the final minute of our first half. Guangzhou, a 20-13 lead over Qingdao.
And the clock running again. And it shouldn't be.
Well, 1 minute rules in effect. Man in motion, that is Zhang. They go to the far side. Boyce makes the catch, but McGlenn will not let him go.
And he should have gotten out of bounds, Mick, to stop the clock. And that's a veteran from the United States. He should have gone into the boards. Instead, it forces a timeout to be called on the field.
So that'll set up a third down coming up.
Rookie mistake. Look at the players. They're looking up at the clock.
A rookie mistake? Well, they're all rookies in this league, Luke.
No, but by Boyce, who's not a rookie, a veteran.
I know.
And a U.S. player. Yeah, the Chinese player you might expect, but Boyce should have gotten out of bounds. And at any rate, they take a timeout.
Well, this has been entertaining, no doubt. You get a look at Rod Miller talking things over with his quarterback, Brian Randall.
And I think we're going to talk to Rod at the end of the first half. Either Rod or Ernesto Pernsley, the head coach of Guangzhou, Sandra, will be talking with our coaches, and that's a treat because she has to do it in both languages. Putting a lot of pressure on that rookie, Now, she is a rookie.
She is a rookie. Yeah. And you know what? She's really handled herself well talking to the players as we all stay together, we dine together. Mr. McGlenn, Cameron, he played into the voodoo in New Orleans, so he's got some of those New Orleans moves going on.
Our Chinese announce crew is to our right, and this is the first time they've seen the U.S. flair. And one of the reasons you got to love arena football, it's a party where a game breaks out.
This is true. We have a third down coming up. Motion here. Randall, pump fake, looking back to the far side, has Boyce, but overthrew him incomplete, and McGlenn was in coverage.
Well, all three receivers hung Randall out to dry. They ran their initial pattern, Mick, and when he broke it off and starts to move, the wide receivers have to move. They have to help the quarterback. They have to move, come back to him, or cross the field. And nobody did that. And he did the smart thing. I thought he was throwing it away, but he threw it high and hoping that Boyce could make a leaping catch.
I might have misspoke. The down marker says second down on the field, so it's going to be second down. Regardless, 21 seconds to play here in our half.
Cameron McGlenn, defense for the Power, very strong first half.
Football spotted at the 12-yard line. Guangzhou, 20-13 lead. Qingdao with the ball, man in motion. Here is Boyce. This is knocked down by McGlenn, incomplete. Well, he's made 3 successive plays very, very well on defense.
Now I start to look at the clock with 18 seconds left and watch McGlenn here. He'll level off, and if he made any mistake at all as he didn't pivot his hips back towards the quarterback, that ball probably should have been picked off. 18 seconds to go, Mick. It's third down, so there's plenty of time if they throw the ball.
Yeah, the cousin who played in the NFL with Seattle, Green Bay, and Minnesota did McGlenn. So now.
And then if they fail on third down, Mick, you have to think about the first field goal attempt in the history of the CAFL.
There you go.
Yeah.
So 3rd and 10, football at the 12-yard line.
Still looking for Randall to bust out of the pocket on his own.
3 receivers come to the left. The man on the slot is Reggie Gray. Now motion to the right. 3-step drop. Here comes the rush. Glasper put a hand on him, throws to the end zone, caught, touchdown! And that is Reggie Gray.
Look at him. He found one pocket of fans up there in the above the mezzanine level, and there's a bunch of people up there. And he again, look here. Here you go. The guys have been working on it now. Tiger Jones, but Reggie Gray puts his own stamp on it. Watch this now. Randall is under pressure. And watch how he uses his legs. Goes to his right. This time his receivers help him. Gray breaks off of his pattern and finds a little seam in there, and Randall threw a bullet in there for the touchdown. What a first half we've had.
Well, Gray with a nice return, gave good field positions. They go 25 yards, and Gray makes the touchdown catch. And a point away from tying up the game. The kick on the way, that is good. Chow Ran Lee ramming it through. And we are tied at 20 as our first half is just on a cusp but coming to a close.
Nice end zone shot that we had there for you of the narrow goalposts in the AFL. And here you go. Here's Reggie Gray, and that is one of his Chinese teammates who go, look, already picking up on the cross-American and Sino culture right there. Hands across the sea, everyone, right there.
Rowing the boat.
Isn't that a beautiful thing? I like Reggie.
Yeah, it really is.
That's great. These guys have been together for 4 weeks, Mick. Not only that, by the operations staff and Ken Bogzar, Derek Branch, and Ed Wang came up with the idea to room them together. One American player with one Chinese player. It was up to them to try and figure out how to communicate with each other, how to live together. And the American guys have really taken them on as their pals, as their brothers. And they've been teaching them and coaching them and exchanging cultures. And it's a two-way street. And it's a wonderful thing to see. The world getting smaller, and as often happens with sports leading the way. Coming up at the half, Sandra will be talking with Ron Jaworski here from the NFL, ESPN, and one of the owners and founders of this league. And we'll also be hearing from David New, the president of this global enterprise.
Good look at Dwayne Brooks, who's back for the kick from Chow Ran Lee. And Brooks,
look
about
out,
3 yards deep. Good head of steam, puts on one move, crosses the 15 and upended at the 20-yard line. As Xavier Boyce and company doing a nice job of blocking. Tackle made by looked like Hao Yang Lee.
Now I said that Sandra would be talking with a coach, but I just realized she's on the wrong side of the field from where the coaches go off. So if she can get over those boards and race across to the other side of the field, time to intercept either Pernsley or Miller, I will really be impressed. And if not, we're going to hear from Sandra anyway and tell you what we got coming up for your special at the half.
Well, we can break down her game tape and say that's a rookie mistake. And
I don't know if she can see us, but we're looking right at you right now, Sandra. Get on your skates. Get out there, babe. You can do it.
Hop the boards, and you'll be right there.
It's like, wait a minute, I didn't sign on for this.
You can't open a door at the dasher board. So regardless, 1st and 10, 19-yard line. 20-20. Guangzhou with the ball, and J.J. Radaway looking to maybe get a score before the half. He has Tuanay in motion, looking his way, goes underneath. That is Fu. Oh, he makes the catch, and he holds on as Tanner Varner rocks this world.
Whoa, baby.
Yu Fu holding on. Who says they can't take a hit?
Hold on to that?
Oh, yeah.
Welcome to U.S. style ball.
Will be a 30-second timeout.
Wow. Great plays on both sides of the ball. There's your highlight reel. If you're recording back in America, watch this.
Yeah, he held on. Varner with the shoulder. There's nothing tame about that. Tanner Varner, 6 feet, 205 out of Des Moines, Iowa.
Did I tell you that the Chinese kids are catching on fast? No pun intended. And holding on. Nice job, kid. Nice job.
5'7", 176 against 6 feet, 205. And Fu holds on.
And Tanner Varner plays a little jack linebacker.
Oh, yeah?
So he's a stud. He knows how to lay out. These young China guys have not played with this level of fundamentals and power before.
So 1st and 10, as this football is at the 18-yard line. Well, if JJ can get completions like that, his team's going to be looking pretty good. 2 seconds to go here, so formation alignment. Tuanay says get on the right side, and they do. They have to go to the end zone here. Tuanay breaks toward the end zone. The pass is underneath to Brooks, but he'll make the catch at the 2-yard line, and time's gonna expire. So we play our first half, and it is 20-all.
And how about that? Sandra Parks is live right now, and
That is
she
the
fooled
end of
us
the
all.
second period.
And she's got one of the coaches live right now. Let's go down to Sandra Parks, who's standing by with Ernesto Pernsley.
Gonna ask him some questions about the team so far. 各位观众，我们现在呢跟我们的广州总教练 Ernesto， 我们想要问他一些问题。What do you think your team doing so far?
I think they're doing well. A little nervous at first, but they're getting into the football again.
And how do you think the Chinese players are performing so far?
They're doing good. We're putting them in a lot of positions. They're making some plays. I'm really excited.
And what do you think you're gonna tell them during halftime?
I'm going to talk about just doing the little things, executing some of our blocks, and making some tackles. I think we missed a few tackles early in this half.
Right, thank you so much, Coach, and good luck for the second half.
All right, thank you.
And 刚刚呢，我们 Ernesto Coach 呢跟我们说的是，希望他们的球员能够多做一些小细节的动作，到第2节、第3节、第4节的时候呢，能够更加的活跃。还有他觉得中国的球员的动作真的还不错，他也很高兴他们越来越放松，能够打得越来越好。现在我们交回给在半场的时候呢，我还会跟Jaworski 还有我们 David New 做一些采访，所以现在呢我们会交回摄影棚。Now I'm heading back to the guys.
I'm telling you, she's going to come out of this thing a star, man.
Absolutely. And star, by the way, is pronounced Shida. Shida in Beijing and in China.
So we're at the half, and here come our cheerleaders who will entertain the crowd. And while they do that, we're going to take a break. You're watching football on One World Sports from China. We'll be right back.
CAFL 中国美式室内橄榄球联盟新推出了其官方设计的图标，合并了中国和美国各自的国旗颜色，星星的形状是他们的共同点，而这6颗星则代表了建立之初的6支橄榄球队。中国的首都城市队北京雄狮代表着传统、力量和保卫的象征，金黄色则标志着财富、好运和权力，一切均归属于这个中国历史中心。 上海以其壮观和现代的城市天际线而著名。您会在天行者队的标志中找到这一特色，而这一切都包含在一个椭圆的橄榄球形内。黄色代表着土地，淡蓝色代表大海，再到代表深邃的夜空的深蓝色。以强大的电子商务而著名的南部中心城市是广州，人口超过4400万。这个城市拥有强大的工业实力，而且接近香港。广州的队名为超能量，它的基本颜色为黑色，这一简洁又酷的颜色代表着能量与坚强的意志。深圳是南方城市，在过去的25年间，我们看到了电子商务的蓬勃发展。它呈现了中国现代的社会风貌，鲜艳的颜色代表了当地的气候和土地的颜色，而眼镜蛇则是当地的一种极具攻击性的品种，能够快速发起攻击。更传统一些的可能要数大连龙王队，大连队标的蓝色代表沼泽，而龙王则是掌管整个海洋的统领者。更低调一些的队标应该是美丽的沿海城市青岛了，这也是新加入的一个队。我们可以看到凉爽的海风摇曳着棕榈树林，这里也被经常称为中国的圣地亚哥。这就是青岛的帆船队，也是著名的青岛啤酒发源地。
Welcome back here in Beijing. We have a 2020 game, the first ever CAFL game, the Guangzhou Power and the Qingdao Clipper. Some heavy hits and a lot of scoring here in our first half. Right now, let's go downstairs as Sandra Parks is standing by with one of the all-time greats from the NFL, Ron Jaworski.
Hello, everybody. I'm here with Ron Jaworski, who is a former NFL football star, and now he is an analyst at ESPN.For the NFL， 各位观众朋友们，大家好！我们现在站在我旁边的这位先生是一位非常有名的球员，以前是打4分卫，然后呢，现在在 ESPN 是做分析师。那我们现在想请教他一些问题。So Ron, I know you've been in this whole process all along, and I wanted to ask how you are feeling seeing the actual game happening, like the very first American football game happened in China.
I expected the American players to play well.But it's been the Chinese players that have been fantastic. I did not expect that. Their overwhelming persistence in this game has been amazing to me. The coaching staff has done a great job of getting the Chinese players ready, and they are very talented.
Ron 觉得呢，他觉得美国球员打得好不算什么，他觉得中国球员打得更好，他也非常欣赏教练团们他们对中国球员的训练，因为有他们的训练，所以这些中国球员才能打得这样子的精彩。Ron, I have another question. So, out of all the players, if you had to pick one that really caught your eye so far, can you tell us maybe which one?
Sandra, I would never pick one. Football is the consummate team game. It's 8 players on every single play working together, and that's kind of been the really nice thing that's happened with the Chinese players and the American players since we got here for 2.5 weeks working together. That work is evidence right now that these guys love to play together, they love each other, and obviously look at the scoreboard. It's 20-20. They're competing very well.
Ron 我刚刚问 Ron 说，你可不可以选一个你比较喜欢的球员，或者是比较出色的球员？他说他完全没有办法选，因为他觉得这个美式足球、美式橄榄球就是一个团队的一个运动，所以呢，他觉得这些两边团队，你可以看得出来他们的分数20-20，这样看得出来他们非常喜欢打这个运动，而且非常喜欢跟他们自己的队友打这个运动，所以他觉得非常的欣慰，能够看到这一点。那我们最后还有一个问题，就是如果他要选一个今年球季会赢球的球队，他会选哪一个 ？Ron, I'm gonna have another question for you. Is if you had to pick a winning team, which team are you gonna pick?
Beijing. We're in the city of Beijing, so I'm pulling for Beijing to win it up.
他将会选北京雄狮队，请不要忘记明天下午3点，北京雄狮将会对上上海 Skywalker 上海天行者队。And 我们现在交回给摄影棚。Now we're gonna head back to the guys. Thank you so much, Ron.
Thank you.
Way to go. Unbelievable. We're at the half from Beijing. And Ron Jaworski crossing international language barriers and says his favorite team is Beijing. He knows how to play to the hometown, doesn't he, baby? 2020. We're at the half. And we'll be back with this. Enjoy this special feature. You're watching the CAFL on One World Sports.
今天呢，我们终于能够在这里见证一个历史性的职业橄榄球巡回赛的开始。
I have to tell you, this is the most exciting time of my life in China.
在这里呢，我还首先感谢我们的马丁和他的团队，有他的这个人力物力的投入，从引进到推广，能到今天我们大家能看到的这个有一个开花结果的一个展示给大家，所以我们也是非常感谢他们。
5 years ago, we started working with the CRFA. Mr. Li, Mr. Zhang, and Mr. Wang. And they work very close with us.
我们这个运动员当好的运动员，然后在场上打得好，我们也他们那个每个运动员学中文的文化。
How cool is this? You gotta be kidding me!
Football is coming to China, and it's going to be huge. And it's going to be big.
That was this past Thursday here in Beijing. Our press conference was televised all across China and all across the world on our China network partners, iQIYI. More than 100 media turned out. Right now on the field, a group from the Greystone Youth Football League here in Beijing are playing midget football. Yeah, this sport is catching on. To find out more about it, let's go down with Sandra and the president of AFL Global, David New.
Who is the president of AFL Global？ 我们现在这位先生站在我旁边的是我们 AFL 全球的总裁 David New。也是因为他，我们今天才会有看到这样子一个情况，就是在美国的外面看到美式橄榄球。David, I know you also play rugby and you're a big, huge star at your sport. Can you tell us a little bit about when you were playing, like how this game today, like kind of pump you up? Maybe think about how you used to play.
Yeah, it did. I'm very excited. Very much like rugby, except they have big, heavy shoulder pads and helmets on. But the contact and the excitement in the stadium and the fact that it's here in China makes me want to jump the fence, but I don't know what'll happen when I got out there.
And David, can I ask you if you watching all this progress happening for more than 4 years now, and like how does that make you feel today, seeing the game happening, all the audience and everybody cheering?
Yeah, if it's possible to be more excited than Ron Jaworski, I am. We've been working hard for 4 years to develop American football, arena football, indoor football in China. We've worked through educating players actually playing the game, and now we're building a business around it, and here it is, the first ever game. It's 20-all at halftime. You couldn't ask for anything more. We're excited and looking forward to the rest of this tour, building football in China and having a wonderful success here.
刚刚 David 跟我们说呢，他已经花了4年多的时间和其他的所有的团队一起合作，然后建立这样子的一个橄榄球的热爱，然后橄榄球的观众们，然后他觉得真的是没有办法再形容更兴奋、更快乐的感觉。他也希望呢，我们这次系列赛会一路顺风，每一站都非常多的观众朋友来支持我们。然后呢，他也希望我们会有更多的美式橄榄球比赛在中国还有在全球都能够看到。Thank you so much, David, for your time. And now back to you guys.
I have chills with what David just expressed. I have chills, Mick. And right behind somebody, guys, lose the score for a minute and show me the kids out there on the field. That's the story right there. These are 5, 6, 7, 8-year-olds on the field behind our score strip there who are playing Little League football from the streets of Beijing. So for those who are wondering, will this ever catch on? There's your evidence. Look at these little guys, and they're playing their butts off, and I mean literally down there. I know our Chinese announce team to our right, including Dai Tong, who played here in China and is one of the coaches here. He's smiling ear to ear. And as Ron Jaworski said, Mick, the Chinese players on the field for the pros have been the surprise here in the first half. This is just fantastic stuff.
Well, one of the first big plays was the Shi Lei Hua interception that helped set up a touchdown. Well, one team's going to go in.
Yeah. And we'll be right back after this.
伴着星光和体育场的灯光，
每天晚上，在上海卢湾体育中心，都有一群橄榄球队员在刻苦训练。在中国首个 CAFL 美式室内橄榄球超级联赛赛季即将开始之前，队员们继续挑战自己，他们抓紧练习基本功，为即将在10月1日在北京举行的超级联赛做最后准备。深圳眼镜蛇队的队员们以及教练在一起设法提高他们的橄榄球比赛技能。美式室内橄榄球是一项冲击力很强的项目，由于场地只有50码，每档进攻的速度极快，在比赛时没有过多的考虑时间，全靠平时训练的积累和队员的体育天赋。养兵千日，用兵一时，只有在赛季还没有开始之前掌握动作要领，并且反复练习，才能在场上正式比赛时进行有效的防守和进攻。比赛已经进入倒计时，哪位队员能够在超级联赛中脱颖而出呢？夜幕下，队员们用汗水铸就梦想。
Welcome back. 20-20, the Guangzhou Power and the Qingdao Clipper as we're getting ready to start our third quarter of play as the teams make their way back on the field. Hey, good crowd on hand here, and there's the Power as they come back to a tie game. Anybody's game.
We just started. There's some of the players, the Chinese players who talked about have been the surprise here. We were all wondering, how are they going to react to full contact? This is the first time they've been inside the boards, by the way. They've been practicing outdoors. How are they going to react with a big crowd of their countrymen, their family, their friends on hand? How are they going to react to being on national TV in China and on TV back at home? It was a slow start, Mick, but it's obvious they've shaken the nerves and they're starting to emerge as athletes.
And one of the things that impressed me is, I mentioned this in the Open too, when the teams got here, especially the Chinese players,
oh yeah,
they were so excited to see the field and feel the atmosphere. Matter of fact, the other night, they even asked me when they could come in early. Sandra Miller standing by right now with Rod Miller, the head coach of the Qingdao Clipper.
Well, hello everybody. I'm here now with the coach from Qingdao Clipper, and it's Rod Miller. 各位观众，我们现在呢要跟我们的青岛的总教练Rod Miller 谈一谈他们刚刚的表现。Coach, I just want to ask, like, what you thought of your team's performance so far?
I mean, for a first game, I thought it wasn't bad. Guys are trying to get on the same page. Some guys are learning the game. Some guys are trying to get in shape playing the game. So all in all, it wasn't bad. I think we accomplished what we're trying to do. We just got to keep getting better.
And what did you tell your players in the locker room to prepare for the second half?
I told everybody we got to play hard. I told all my Chinese players, you now know the game. So now we got to come out second half and play like we know the game. And I told my American players, we got to get a little sharper, got a little rusty a little bit. So we all got to get on the same page so we can come out with a win in the second half.
All right. Well, good luck to the second half.
All right, thank you.
Let's talk back to the guys. 那我们会拿回到摄影棚。
Well, Rod Miller is like, okay, the fun, the ceremony's over, the experiment's over. Now let's go playing, boys, and let's win the darn game, right?
Let's go. It's
Enough of that stuff.
Time to play.
Let's go now.
Time to win.
I love it, huh? Great information at the half from David New, the president of AFLG, the former rugby all-star and Hall of Famer out of Australia playing for the national team, and our president of our bigger group, that is the parent company of the CAFL. And our ambition, Mick, we know it, it doesn't stop in China.
Oh, no.
We go to Korea, Japan, Singapore, Vietnam, Australia, New Zealand. Very exciting.
The company is called AFL Global, right? AFL Global. So it may not be here today, and maybe not tomorrow, but soon and for the rest of your life.
And it's based in the little town of Conshohocken, Pennsylvania, near my hometown of Philadelphia, PA. I grew up in the streets where they filmed Rocky, and I'll tell you something, I couldn't be prouder of these guys. Ken Bozarth, David New, Marty Judge, Derek Branch, Ron Jaworski, yourself, everyone that's been associated with this. What a great start. Here we go.
Alex Carter, hold on. No, they didn't hear the whistle.
They didn't blow the whistle to start.
Okay, so it never happened.
That could have been a torn hamstring right there.
Well, actually, I thought it was going to be an onside kick for a second.
I thought it was very clever, whatever was going on, but no, they hadn't said it yet, and our red hat hadn't given the go-ahead.
It happens. We're set.
There's the whistle.
There we go. Carter. Long kick, and here is Reggie Gray about 2 yards deep. Comes out to his right.
Wow, good coverage.
Oh, it's got away, got to the 15, still going, and out of bounds at about the 17-yard line for Reggie Gray.
You know, again, I'm watching the fans here. They just love that. They love the extra effort after the contact. They're starting to catch on fast. We're with you again coming up later today, folks. We have double headers every Saturday on the Super Series Tour. 6 weekends, 6 cities here in China. We're coming back your way at 7 o'clock. 7 o'clock in the morning. Back home. Our second game today, right here from the site of the Beijing Summer Olympics. This is where they played the basketball and the gymnastics in the Olympics here in China.
Ryan Randall had a touchdown pass in that first half. Actually 2 as he hit Reggie Gray twice.
Oops.
Hands off here. That is Holman. And only a couple of yards for Jason Holman.
Nice scraping tackle as he came down the line by the Guangzhou defender. Number 94, Tyree Glasper, a veteran of the AFL, plays a little linebacker, defensive line. Look at it go sideways and get the head on the outside portion of the runner's body, and that's why he was able to make the tackle technique, and that's what the Chinese are going to have to learn in a hurry.
Spotted at the 23 where it's 2nd and 7. And our handheld cameraman getting a taste of the CAFL as well.
Nice job.
Gray in motion. Quick toss behind Tarsoon, incomplete.
Now you see where those cameras are facing on the opposite side from where our cameras are. Just above there is a VIP section. And just as we say, very important people like Marty Judge, the founder of the CAFL, Gary Morris, the CEO here in China.
Personal foul, illegal use of the helmet, defense, 10-yard penalty, 2nd down.
Illegal use of the helmet. I didn't see it, Mick.
I didn't either. And actually, it's on the offense because he backed him up, not the defense.
They may have used hands to the face.
Could have been.
We've seen that in practice quite a bit. Some of the Chinese players instinctively shoving at the faces of their opponents, not used to the rules about the headgear and the heads yet in American-style football.
So it makes it 2nd and long here. The football backed up to the 13-yard line. 3-step drop. Randall airing it out, looking for Reggie Gray. Makes the catch. Is he going to give it to him? Yes, touchdown. He thought about it first. And Reggie Gray with his 3rd touchdown of the day. And just like that, first possession of the second half of Qingdao Clipper on top by 6.
Let me tell you something. Brian Randall, you can't throw a ball any better than this. You can't catch a ball any better than this. I don't care what league, what country you're in, but this is the China Arena Football League. We are in Beijing, and that's top-notch passing game right there, Mick.
3rd touchdown catch of the day, and now on for the extra point, Xiaoran Li from Qingdao for the Qingdao Clipper.
Good
Metz
look at
is the snapper, Brackett the holder, placement down, kick is on the way. That one deflected, and it will be no good. So our score remains 26-20 for the Qingdao Clipper over the Guangzhou Power as we have 12:24 to play here in the 3rd. Coming back in a moment on One World Sports, so don't go away.
I'm Ernesto Pernsley. I'm the head coach of the Guangzhou Power.
So, first day of getting everyone together, what was it like getting your whole team?
It was very exciting. There's a lot of excitement and a lot of energy. We had finally had a chance to get everyone together, and it's very productive.
How do you think the Chinese players reacted to seeing their American teammates for the first time?
I think they were excited when they first arrived from their trips. They really embraced them, and it was a good experience back and forth.
How are the Americans coaching and helping the Chinese players?
They're sharing their experience to help them with the little fine points that they can't see on the diagrams and in the plays, understanding where how certain plays are going to finish out.
Yeah, and you ran a little bit of a team session at the end to get them all working together. Is that on track with where you expect it to be?
Yeah, it's on track. You know, it's the first chance for us to see those guys. You take everything that you did in the classrooms and in meeting rooms, and get it out here on the film.
What do you expect from the players in this week coming?
I expect there's going to be a lot of highs and lows. Whenever you're installing anything new, being able to work through the problems, and you want them to make mistakes in practice so you can see it and fix them and keep the good plays.
Welcome back. A good look at Reggie Gray. 3 touchdown catches today, and his team leads it 26-20.
He's looking like the player of the game if they wind up winning, but it's a long way to go.
So here's the kick by Chao Ran Lee. And Dwayne Brooks about 4 yards deep, out to the 5, to the 10, still going, 15, and knocked out of bounds just shy of the 20-yard line is Dwayne Brooks.
Let's talk about Dwayne Brooks a little bit. We've gotten to know him very well, you and I, Mick. Mick, you and I and our media team, there's J.J. Roderick. He's also involved in what I'm about to talk about. We've been conducting a little broadcaster camp and seminars with the players who aspire to continue their careers in broadcasting. J.J. one of them. Funny guy. This guy is a can't miss in broadcasting. Mark Brooks is another. He's been helping us and he's going to help us in the next game with stats here as part of the crew. And these guys will probably get a turn in the broadcast booth, but one of them. That'll be the prize before our Super Series is over.
Yeah, Christian Wise is out there as well. He's going to play for the Shanghai Skywalkers.
Justin Lawrence from the Philadelphia Soul, Morgan State.
Yeah, there's a lot of people who are thinking
Taylor.
About more than football. That's for sure.
Sure,
First
this is
and
an
10.
opportunity.
18-yard line. Radering, 2-step drop, pump fake. Oh, incomplete. He was looking for Dwayne Brooks, but just a little too far out in front.
See, this is going to be rough for these guys because if they play in front of us and then they join us in the booth, we're going to have to put them on the spot.
Open season.
You'd betcha. Look at this. We got a little young fan here who's joined us in the booth, about 7 years old, fascinated by what we're doing.
And why not? Monitors, headsets.
I was drawn to it like a fly to light when I was a kid, that's for sure. And here we are still, Nick, and we're no kids.
No, we're not. 10:56 and the clock moving here in the third quarter.
Rolling clock until the final minute of play in AFL ball.
In motion here is Shinda Chow. Radarink draws 2 in, and the ball is incomplete. Hao Young, the Hulk from Harbin Institute, had to go off his hands. Incomplete.
Harbin is one of the universities far north here. Cold weather up there. They've been playing some outdoor football here in China. Recently, they went from about a half dozen club football teams, pickup teams, about 5 years ago. Now they estimate more than 300 club teams in China. This sport's catching on, as is a lot of Western culture. You can't go down the street without running into McDonald's, Kentucky Fried Chicken, Pizza Hut. I saw a Papa John's, and there's a Starbucks. There's more coffee than there is now tea in China.
Yeah, go figure. So here we're looking at a 3rd and 10 for Radarink and company. Yu Fu goes to the far side. Brooks in motion. I think he was offside. Here comes the toss. Complete to Brooks. Makes the catch in front of Joe Finnessy, but I think it's going to be, you think it's against the defense?
Yeah, the defensive end jump came across the line on the near side, Mick. I was drawn to the motion guy. Me, an old linebacker, I'm watching the lineman all the time.
Well, we're going to find out. I thought Brooks was a little too far ahead on the snap.
Offside. Number 42 defense. Penalty decline. Results of the play, 1st down.
All right, so the completion to Brooks will stand. 1st and 10 for the Guangzhou Power with the ball at the 19-yard line. They're on the move.
We had that big press conference the other day, and if you look up Time Magazine online today back in the States, you'll see a huge feature article. The CAFL featured in Time Magazine. We thank reporter Charlie Campbell, who followed us for 3 days and wrote an excellent, fair and balanced piece about the prospects of our league here in China.
Fair and balanced, that sounds like a network.
I watch that one once in a while.
Yeah. 1st and 10. Handoff straight forward. Here's the Hulk. Oh, he took a shoulder, but still gets down to the 10-yard line.
And the Hulk making up for a drop, an outright drop a moment ago, and you can see some of the hops that he has, and he's built low to the ground, tough to tackle.
And another tough hit by Tanner Varner.
Yeah, Tanner can do it. These guys, there was some talk, hey, are you going to let up on the Chinese players? And that's over. They're playing football. No, they're playing football now. All that talk is gone. They're in the game now. This is what Rod Miller said. Okay, we know you can play. Now go out and play and win the game.
2nd and 1. The football at the 10-yard line. The way it's spotted, they may be able to get a first down at the goal line. So
I don't think so. Look where the ball is. Look at your screen.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ratterink wants to throw to the end zone. 2-8, touchdown. There's a flag on the play. Hold on.
Moot point.
A lot of finger pointing going on, but 2-8 did make the catch in the end zone. If it stands, it's his third touchdown catch today. Ernesto Pernsley arguing his case. David Wong says it's a touchdown, but sometimes his opinion won't count.
See, now this is where the Chinese fans are confused. What's all the standing around?
Here's R.G. Detillier.
And so are we.
There are 2 fouls on the play. Number 9, illegal defense. That linebacker's out the box.
Oh,
that penalty's declined. Holding. Number 5 on the defense. That penalty's declined. Results of the play, touchdown.
All right. In the future, we could have just said the play stands.
J.J. Ratterink, his third touchdown pass today, and the third touchdown catch for 2-8.
Well, here's the question. Is the Qingdao defense going to figure out that 2-8 is going to run the quarter pattern, right? That's the third one, same pass pattern all 3 times.
Well, in our unofficial This Week in the CAFL show, I said 2-8 was the best red rose zone receiver out there. That's shows to come, I think.
Yeah, I missed the show. Yeah,
here's
next week.
Here's the kick off the iron, no good. And the score remains 26-26. How about that?
So let's take a look at the pass pattern again. 2-8 was not a corner. It came all the way across the field. It's like a double post, but it works, and it's our touchdown.
So we'll come back in just a moment as you're watching the CAFL on One World Sports.
四分卫是进攻组的队长，他的任务是组织进攻。四分卫是进攻组的核心成员，直接站在进攻组的中锋后面。中锋负责发球。理想的四分卫应该高大、机敏、思想敏捷，并有一双强壮的抛传臂。四分卫的基本角色就是组织进攻，并领导进攻组得分。四分卫向进攻组的中锋发出发球的命令，开始一次比赛，才算是真正开始比赛。这一行动有可能是一次传球，四分卫会把球抛向一个合法接球员；也可能是一次奔跑，四分卫将球传给一个合法跑位，跑位将尽力将球向前推进。在中国，一个伟大的梦想正在变为现实。美国最流行的体育来到中国，6座城市，6个球队的争夺战，目标就是摘得首届中国橄榄球冠军头衔。6个星期，6个球队。了解 CAFL 全国职业室内橄榄球巡回赛详细信息，请访问 CAFLChina.com 和 CAFLFootball.com。
It's the Super Series, 6 teams, 6 weekends, and it all ends in Shanghai. We're in Beijing for the first weekend of CAFL Pro Play, then on to Dalian next weekend, and you can see the rest. We've winded up with the China Bowl in Shanghai.
Off the net, here is Reggie Gray out to the 2, still going to the 5, to 10, to 15, and knocked out of bounds. There's a flag drop back at the 5-yard line. Looks like it's probably going to be a clip.
For the Clipper.
Not the Clipper that you want.
No. I saw that one. And that was a legitimate call. And that actually sprung Reggie Gray.
On the return, holding number 42. Receiving team.
That wasn't a hold.
Penalty is half the distance to the goal from the 6-yard line. First down.
No, it wasn't a hold. It was a clip, but that same effect.
Regardless.
Yeah.
Moves him back. It'll be 1st and 10 at the 2-yard line.
Blocking in the back, by the way. That's what they call it now. How about this score? 27-26. A lot of people think one of our crew, Frank Lazard Jr. from back home, we brought 12 media members of Lou Tilly Media here to spearhead the team and join with our Hong Kong company CTC to do this broadcast, Frank Jr., who's been watching the teams, thinks that these might be the two teams we see in the final game for the championship when it's all done.
I think Shenzhen might have something to say about that. Here's a first down play, and Randall going to air it out. It is deep. It's a flag. That's pass interference.
In anybody's league.
Oh, yeah. Tersoon was the intended receiver. And the interference call will go against John DeChen.
And you know what? That's a smart play by John DeChen, because that's a sure touchdown otherwise. If that's the call. But it looks like Qingdao's backing up.
Could be 2 fouls. I didn't see a second flag.
Interference. Offense.
Offense.
Number 32. That penalty declined. Second down.
Pushed off. I know. I see your eyes.
I disagree.
I'm not going to disagree. We have to room with these officials for 6 weeks. Yeah.
I don't get every call right either.
No, me either.
I mean, so, you know.
I saw it otherwise, but okay.
All right, pass interference offense.
I don't want to be sitting down and watching the replay on IGE here. Of course, it'll be in Chinese, so they won't know what we said. We're okay.
True. That's true.
We're all right.
And if they don't like the call, they can blame Wu Shilu.
Yeah, I wonder if Wu Shi and Dayton are criticizing it over there in Chinese.
He's the Chinese play-by-play broadcaster. 2nd and 10. Here's a quick toss that is complete. And there is Chong making the tackle.
I hope we get a shot of the booth before we get out of here, because we're sharing a table with the Chinese team. And I can hear Wu over my right shoulder and sometimes struggling with what's going on. This is all brand new to our Chinese announcers. The pace, we've practiced it together, but it's different when it's live and that pressure's on you. And I think they're doing a great job. And so are you, Mick.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it.
You've got about 2,000 games under your belt, though, by now.
Well, this is true. Anyway, after the catch, we're looking at a 1st and 10. After the catch by Zhang. Football spotted at the, call it the 14-yard line. 2-step drop, and they're going deep. He's looking. Touchdown! Tinda Chu Chong with a touchdown.
What a catch.
And that would be the first Chinese player to score a touchdown in the CAFL. Tian Chu Chong from Brian Randall catches the deep ball, and his team now has a 32-27 lead.
And nobody was happier than the U.S. players who raced into the end zone to congratulate him, the first Chinese player to score a touchdown in their home nation.
And another touchdown pass for Brian Randall, his 4th of the day.
Nice concentration to hold that ball in. Sometimes the toughest ones to catch are when you're wide open. Oh.
Xiaoran Li's kick is blocked, and that will be no good. So our score remains 32-27 as the Qingdao Clipper lead the Guangzhou Power here in the 3rd quarter. Hope you're enjoying all our coverage right here on One World Sports. It's been entertaining, no doubt. Well, a chance to take a look at our schedule, which is upcoming.
Well, Mick, as the Super Series continues next week, we go to the seaside city of Dalian. Dalian, the Dragons will be the home team. You see them in the lower right there, and they'll play in the nightcap. It's a triple header heading your way. If you're watching us, the Super Series coming to Dalian next week. And if you're in China, you can get your tickets by going to CAFLChina.com.
Or maybe you're taking a vacation.
Right, but are they watching One World Sports? I'm very confused by this. I think they're watching on IGE, our Chinese network. But at any rate, we want you to watch it on One World Sports. So it's the same idea, Mick. We played a triple header on Sunday. That's the 9th. And we're coming to you from Dalian. In the first game, it's Guangzhou the Power take on the Shanghai Skywalker. Isn't that a great couple of logos right there?
Oh, yeah.
Shenzhen, the Naja, that's a Cobra, Chinese style, against the Beijing Lions. Very regal in our next game at 3. And then these Clipper are back on the field to take on Dalian. The two seaside teams will get after each other. Look at the freebies going up into the stands, and the fans, hey, they've become Americanized real fast, haven't they?
Absolutely.
We'll see you next week in Dalian, right here on One World Sports. I'm Lou Tilley, along with Mick Monninghoff. Sandra Parks has been reporting for us from the sidelines, and we'll see you next week as well.
32-27. The Qingdao Clipper right there in blue with the lead over the Guangzhou Power. As kicker Chao Ran Lee, Qingdao native, has it teed up and ready to go. Here's his kick. Dwayne Brooks will take it right against the wall. Brings it out to the 5, stutter step and falls in front of Tanner Varner.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, he may have fallen in front of Tanner Varner is the right way to say it. Little slippery turf here, as we said, first time used for this field. We're in Beijing, China. You're watching the first ever American professional football game. It's the China Arena Football League from Beijing, China, the nation's capital. I'm Lou Tilley along with Mick Moneyhoff, who's calling a play-by-play. Sandra Parks is doing our sideline reporter, and a great job of it in the first ever game of the new Pro League here in China.
Well, let's see if the Guangzhou Power can power their way back in this game as they trail 32-27.
Nice shot down the line of scrimmage.
J.J. Raderink, the quarterback, has Dwayne Brooks right there on the left. High motion, handoff goes to Hao Young, and the Hulk up along the wall. And I think he got enough for the first down.
He can run, Nick. He shows some real natural instinct there. And clearly not intimidated by the big U.S. defenders that he's facing.
Picked up a nice block.
Nice lead there by number 77.
That's Deshaun Johnson. All 315 pounds, blocking the way for Hao Young.
They had Deshaun lined up in the backfield in the first half. And now they've gone to...
There's 2 fouls in the play.
Oops.
Illegal defense. Number 76, not in position as the linebacker spot. Holding offense, number 76. Those penalties are offset. We'll replay first down.
So it's like the play never happened. It'll be 1st and 10 at the 5-yard line.
After a pretty much penalty-free first half, we've seen a little sloppy play here in the third quarter. And I think that's the officials now starting to assert themselves and say, okay, we're going to do it right. I think they let a lot go in the first half.
Well, the other thing, too, is it was a tie game at halftime, and the score differential is not that great, so the team's looking for that one-upmanship. Yeah, sometimes you start pressing the envelope a little bit.
We got to start calling it tight now because it is a game. And by the way, these guys are professionally paid football players, and there is a special prize to the champion at the end of this thing, Mick.
Oh, yeah.
So they're well aware of it. There's real competition here. You bet.
Yu Fu comes to the near side. Brooks is in the slot to the left, and Shinda Chow goes in motion. Raderink throw in to Brooks, complete. He's still in bounds to the 20, to the 25, breaks the tackle, and he's going to go. Dwayne Brooks to the goal line, touchdown.
Hey, man, I'll tell you what. Not only was that a great play by Dwayne, our man, who's part of our media team in the making, but the fans got it. They were on their feet when he started to cut back against the grain and broke a couple of tackles and got the huge block. And watch this. First of all, he bounces off the boards, but by AFL rules, if you're not pushed into them by contact, you're still in play. There was the big move, and there's the big block that sprung him for the touchdown, in for the score. And I'm telling you, the crowd went crazy. They are catching on to the way we play this game real fast.
45-yard play, and here's Carter on for the extra point. Guangzhou with a 1-point lead, trying to make it 2. There's a fire, and a handoff goes to the kicker, and he is in for the 2. He got it.
That's a great play. Great play. That's the quarterback, the backup quarterback, paid the price, got 2 points for his team. Heads-up play.
So Carter takes the play in for 2, and it makes the score 35-22. Another look at the touchdown play here to Brooks.
Again, when he hits the wall, that's in play, unless he's pushed there by contact. And then he goes against, watch this block, right there. Just enough to make him turn the corner and get into the end zone. Let's go down to Sandra Parks. Sandra Parks is down on the sidelines right now and has an update for us. We're in the third quarter here in Beijing. Sandra?
我们现场的这个球赛，刚刚不晓得观众有没有看到，原本呢是很简单的踢进1球1分就好了，但是他们不愿意，他们觉得我们应该要多加2分，所以现在呢，广州队刚刚是本来只有达阵6分，加上 extra 就是加上1分而已，但是现在他们反而加上了2分，总共变成得分是8分，所以非常的了不起哦。然后还有我们这个现在现场的观众们，我希望你们应该都是非常的兴奋，因为得分双方就是这样来来回回这样得分，希望你们也还有看到我们很多不同的球员一起在打球，所以希望你们能够继续观赏。 现在就要回摄影棚 ，Now throw it back to the guys.
I'd like to say after 19 trips here that I'm starting to understand the language. I can't say that.
No?
No. I feel embarrassed. So many people here in China know at least a rudimentary understanding of our language, English, and I really struggle. Then again, I made it through 8 years of German with no better than a C in college, so language is probably not my best skill.
And mine neither, so I'm right there with you. I can tell you this.
Not so great at English either, by the way, yeah.
I think we get by, but One World Sports, that's what this is all about.
Yeah, that's perfect, isn't it?
All right, think about it. Here's the kick, and the first time today that Lin Lee kicks off. Ooh! And Gray not getting past the 5-yard line. That is Tyler Glasper from the Arizona Rattlers. That's why they were in Arena Bowl.
How about that? Arizona Rattlers just wrapping up the AFL season on their home turf against the Philadelphia Soul in the Arena Bowl for the championship, and the Soul came away the winners in Arizona. And then many of them, 9 of them that we counted, either active players or members of the Soul staff, almost immediately got on the airplane and came over here to start the new league in China.
Real quick, what did you think of the distance on the kick by Lin Lee?
Well, he obviously doesn't have the leg. That ball only came down at the 5, and obviously the quarterback, the kicker, paid the price for getting into the end zone. He came up lame.
Right.
That could be a big factor before this game's over, Nick.
There you go.
We should start concentrating now on that, on the competition. With 3 minutes to go in the third quarter, we've got a great game.
35-32. Guangzhou leads Qingdao, man in motion, and that ball is a missed route, incomplete, or just a bad read. Somebody not on the same page, that's for sure.
Yeah, I think it was a bad route. It looked to me like Randall was throwing to the boards. That's a pretty standard play in arena-style ball. You may remember him, folks, of college football when he played at Virginia Tech for Frank Beamer. Nick was telling us that Frank Beamer on national television, recently retired great coach of the Hokies, talking about Brian Randall in the same breath as Tyron Taylor and Michael Vick for his days at quarterback for Virginia Tech.
Don't forget, Dalian and Shenzhen coming up at 7 p.m.
Right
our
here.
time, 7 a.m. U.S. time on One World Sports. Motion. That is Tersoon making a catch out to the 15, and that's as far as he's going to go.
Now he's the one that broke off the route, and they come right back to him. That's a veteran move by the coach, Rod Miller, as well as the quarterback. Get him back on the same page, get him involved.
And why not?
Yeah.
And you don't want anybody to lose confidence, especially in your home in your opener. So after 2nd and 10, it turns into a 3rd and 2.
Now look at this spread offense right now. The man in motion starting all the way back at the 3-yard line. So he's going to have about an 18-yard run when he hits that line of scrimmage right now. Flag.
There's a flag on the play. Looking for Gray. Complete at the 16-yard line, but I think this might be coming back, so let's hold on.
Thought it was the defense again.
Oh, McGlenn.
Hey.
Was defended.
Offside. Defense. Number 99. Penalty refused. Results in a play. First down.
Yeah, even if the defense does not come across the line, Nick, by AFL or arena ball rules, if he jumps, just like an offensive player, it's an automatic call. So it was a free play, and that play by Reggie Gray, again, that's how I spot it, the 18-yard run at the line of scrimmage. How do you cover that?
It's hard.
He breaks off the route and comes back, because you're backpedaling with all that steam coming at you, and if you break it off, it's hard to cover it underneath.
Yep, then he just jams on the brake, curls back, and he's wide open.
It's because the linebacker in arena ball can't drop any deeper than 5 yards. Now, if I were to change the rules a little bit, I'd get that linebacker maybe 10 yards deep, so we have a little bit of underneath coverage.
1st and 10, football at the 17-yard line. Qingdao trailing, trying to get back in the lead, 35-32. Here is Tersoon, makes the catch, and he's knocked out of bounds at about the 14. They have used Tersoon fairly well. He's been a go-to receiver.
And the other thing that I'm impressed by is the execution. That's not an easy play. That's a one-step drop, get the ball out. It's a screen play where the right side of your offensive line has to release and get out there in front of them, and they did it very, very well.
20 seconds to play here in the third quarter. Guangzhou with a 35-32 lead over Qingdao, but Qingdao is driving with the football at the 12-yard line. 2nd and 5 at the 12. Gray will come in motion. Zhang on the near side. Pump fake. Now this ball is tipped. Well, thrown too high for Tersoon, incomplete.
And into the front row with the Guangzhou Power benches. And that's it. It's the end of the third quarter. You know, we've been talking about our 5-year climb to get to this point, to launch our league. It's not unlike climbing that Great Wall of China. Go along with us.
Here we go, Shanghai Skywalkers. Representing up here on the Great Wall. Trying to get us a little trick shot video up here.
Road to the Super Series.
Hey!
Gotta go through Shanghai.
Hey!
How great are these guys? That was filmed by Christian Wise, who is an aspiring producer and a pro player. That was Shane Austin, the quarterback you saw with the trick throw. Willie McGinnis with the snap through the fortress at the Great Wall. Nice piece. Let's go down to Sandra now and see if the fans are enjoying all this.
各位观众，我现在和4号球员 Virgil Gray 是广州超能量的球员，他的妈妈特地从亚特兰大飞过来看他比赛。Hello, Mrs. Gray. How are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you so much for taking this interview. How are you feeling right now watching your son playing in China?
I'm feeling great. Great. It's good to see him playing here out of the country.
And you just flew in from Atlanta. Do you have any jet lag or anything?
Oh, a lot of jet lag. I've been sleeping a lot.
这位球员的妈妈们，她说呢，她从亚特兰大飞过来，实在是有点辛苦，有点累，但是看到她的儿子打球，她实在是非常的开心。Now I'm gonna get back to the guys. Thank you.
That's Mrs. Gray, Mick. That's who I told you. I've been hanging out with her at McDonald's.
Fantastic.
And Alvina late at night, just hanging out from back home in Atlanta.
And the crowd gives her a hand
How
as
about
well.
that? Yeah, because they're watching that on the big board up on the Jumbotron. We should get a shot of that at some point. And we've been playing these informative and fun videos like the one we just did from the Great Wall for the crowd, and they've been applauding. Very nice.
3rd and 5 at the 13-yard line for the Clipper. Randall's under center. Gray in motion. Here's a toss to Gray. That is tipped and incomplete.
Nice play.
And actually, the up linebacker, Zal Leon, might have got a hand on it first before Virgil Gray, who you just heard from his mom, got a hand on it too.
Good call. 18 with a great drop. He can only go 5 yards deep. If we see that again, that's a big-time drop by any linebacker to get out of his position, go laterally, and get in that passing lane. And we'll see it here. Watch to your right of your screen. 18, see right there, and then Gray helps him out as well. Terrific defense. This is really good execution that we're seeing right now, Nick.
Yep, Virgil Gray with a little help from Zal Leon from Wuhan Institute making that play. So it comes up 4th and 5. Critical play here at the 13-yard line for Qingdao as they trail. And here comes the rush to the end zone. Oh! Touchdown! That is Reggie Gray with his 4th touchdown catch of the day. Wow, talk about comebacks. Another big 4th down throw and catch for 6.
Well, you talk about great execution and under the gun. That's the third down on fourth down. These two teams have not only converted first down, but turned them into touchdowns. Watch the catch. It's a rope. Randall's under pressure, and I mean, he caught the back end of the football, Nick. I mean, he really did, and that is so hard, and that's a real pro play that we're seeing here today.
Well, back and forth, and Qingdao now takes that 38-35 lead as Chaoran Lee comes on for the extra point. You know, this is a pretty good game for your first one out of the box. Placement down, kick on the way, it's blocked, it's returnable.
Look at this.
It's returnable. Tyree Gosper picks it up, he's still fumbling it. Gosper is going to be down and shy of the 2-point defensive score. Oh, it almost happened.
Wow, that's the third blocked extra point that we've seen, and I think two of them by Gasper. Tremendous job. And here's the touchdown pass again as we go to break. You're watching the CAFL on One World Sports.
一般来说，踢开球在达阵跟尝试射任意球后，或当他们成功的踢射进任意球得分时发生。它也在比赛开始和半场开始发生。踢开球是从球门线，踢球者可以选择使用1英寸的 T。到了第4档的情况下，如果他们在前3档中没能成功的把球前进10码，或未能到达距离球门线10码的位置，那么攻方可以选择取1档、达阵或任意球。任意球是持球的进攻一方踢球，如果球进入了横梁上和2个门柱之间的区域，成功踢进任意球得3分。接收方可接踢开球或弹出错过。
互联网拉近你我的距离，视频让娱乐生活触手可及。爱奇艺不断连接人与服务，让人们可以平等便捷地获得更多更好的视频，以及跟视频相关的全方位生活娱乐服务。爱奇艺，悦享品质。
And we'll take another look at it as the Clippers take the lead 38-35. Brian Randall with just a perfect throw. And look at that catch in the back of the ball by Reggie Gray.
So here's the kick, and this will be Brooks from his own end zone. Dwayne Brooks to the 15, 20s, and that's going to be all as Varner and company, along with Jake Metz, stand them up. But now the Guangzhou Power have to answer as they trail 38-35.
Well, this is almost your perfect arena football game. You've got great offense, but you also have defense playing a role here, Mick. We're not in one of those 70-68 type games. This is the kind of score that you might expect on a great college football game in the SEC right now. And I'm telling you again, I'm going to say it again. First game ever played in China, professional football, combining the U.S. pros with half of the players on the field. China, first time out, and the execution has been top-notch.
It has been. And the other thing that you always talk about, offense, defense, and in a 35-38 game, special teams could come into play as well.
Have 3 blocked extra points already.
Yeah, the kicker who kind of got hurt on his 2-point conversion attempt, so it's all up for grabs here as we're in the 4th quarter with 12:40 to play in this one.
No pun intended.
1st and 10. Ratterink throws complete. Tuane makes the catch at the 25-yard line.
J.J. Ratterink, what a colorful character. Had a great career with the Iowa Barnstormers, breaking all of Kurt Warner's records, as you mentioned. And what a future this young man has in broadcasting, we think. We're trying to bring him along and give him a little airtime before the series is over. He's nearing the end of his career. He's in his mid-30s now. Great sense of humor. As I said, every time he meets a defensive back, he said, "Have I ever thrown one to you?"
JJ's got the gift. And you know what? He's just one of the nicest guys. You'll see even when things are in practice aren't going his way.
He's been a real leader.
Always complimentary to his players.
Yep. And
that's why, you know, his teams are always in a game because they want to play for him. Here's the toss. Stood up, and the Hulk is not going anywhere. The Hal Young brought down right there quickly.
JJ's a good guy, a good person. He's a good moral man. The other night, we found out that Peyton Manning would be visiting, courtesy of the NFL, and graciously the NFL invited us to come and attend a little talk. And I had the idea, well, I was having dinner with JJ, and he told me that he grew up in Denver, and it's his all-time hero, and could he come along? And sure enough, we did, and we got a chance to chat with Peyton. He made a lot of headlines, and in some ways, he helped us quite a bit by saying some good things about the prospects of football here in China.
Absolutely. So Radarink has Shin De Chao on the left, 2-A in motion on the right. He's looking to the near side, though, and that is Yu Fu who makes the catch.
Nice.
Right in front of Tanner Varner.
Get a little chippy, too. Did you see him pull out of there?
Yeah, why not?
Now here's the extra point, and the block by Gasper. And now he didn't block it, but he chases it down. And there's where he lost it. If he had fielded it cleanly the first time, I think he takes it into the end zone.
You're right.
And a 2-point saving tackle there by the Clippers to chase that ball down from behind.
So here we look at a 1st and 10 after the catch by Yu. The football is spotted at the 17-yard line. Guangzhou trailing by 3. Trying to get the lead back with 10:27 to play here in our ball game.
They haven't thrown the guard screen yet, the guard eligible because the tight end. They haven't thrown that play. Watch for it.
Oh, Jake Metz rejected, incomplete.
Jake Metz, great athlete. Qingdao's coach, Rod Miller, and Jake told me on the elevator. We've gotten a lot of information this past couple weeks on the elevators, haven't we, Mick?
We have.
And thanks to the Hilton Doubletree Inn, where 250 of us have been for about a month. And Jake told me he pretty much has freedom to line up wherever he wants on defense, with the exception of defensive back. He's that kind of athlete. Right now, he's lined up in one of the linebacker spots.
Yeah, he was listed as a defensive end, but he's playing more linebacker right now than anything else.
And Clint Dozell used him there for the Soul this year at various times.
2nd and 10 at the 17. Radarink sends his man in motion. That is Dwayne Brooks. Blocked at the line. Radarink throws underneath. Intercepted. Tanner Varner picked him off. And he's still on his feet. Now he's finally touched. And down at the 15-yard line. Now, whistles blow.
He's saying that he was still eligible, but the whistles had blown.
I think he was, but let's just hold on. But regardless, it is a pick. It is clean. And Varner has the 2nd turnover of the day off a Radarink interception.
That's Terry Valenti talking with our referee. Now that jam had a lot to do with that interception that you see right there on your screen.
Interception by the defense. The player went into the wall. 1st down.
Okay, so they're saying Varner went into the wall early on after the interception as a result of contact, and so he was down. But you called it, Nick, the jam at the line of scrimmage, and then Varner stayed with the play and undercut the route. A terrific one-on-one defensive play by Taron Varner. And watch what happens to the linesman right there, Terry Valenti. Watch her on the right. Oh, boy. Oh, Terry.
Welcome to the CAFL, miss.
Oh, babe. Oh, no.
That's not fun.
She's okay. She's tough. And what a smart woman. She's an assistant professor at Stanford University in political studies and business, and does this for college and high school football and does it for us here in the CAFL.
1st and 10, 16-yard. Now, she's very helpful to me before the game as well. Here's a toss down the middle. Nice hit, incomplete. Little separation. That is Virgil Gray on the hit on Reggie Gray. All right, when you got 4 touchdowns, Reg, you're going to get a little attention.
You know, this is really good stuff, and I'm loving it. As an old defensive guy, I'm seeing some fine defensive play. That one was obvious. Varner's was just, no one could play that ball better than Varner just did.
So Virgil Gray with a hit there. You know, he's from Atlanta, Georgia. Played his college ball at Rhode Island.
We just saw his mom.
That's right. She's in town.
Having a ball.
Sets up 2nd and 10 at the 16. 38-35. Qingdao the ball and the lead with 8:30 to play. Back to throw. Here's the completed pass to Tersoon. There's a flag on the play, and he's popped.
Well, he learned a lesson. He came back to the interior of the field, and here comes Glasper coming inside out. He walloped him.
Glasper and then Zhao Leon also there as well. Glasper says it's against Qingdao, so we'll separate the flags and hold on. We got a ball game, Lou.
Sure do.
8:24 to go in a 3-point game.
And don't forget another one coming your way at 7 a.m. back in the States. That's East Coast time. That's right.
Here's the call.
Illegal formation. Number 1 offense wasn't on the line of scrimmage. 5-yard penalty. Second down.
Roger Detillier, RJ Detillier, our referee, and they are starting to call it tighter as we come down the stretch here.
Yes, they are.
And here's, we were talking about the press box up here, Mick. We're up on the goal line. We're right next to our Chinese friends, Wu Shir Lu and Dayton Wang calling the games next to us. And they're really excited to watch and see the Chinese players doing so well.
Football's backed up here to the 11-yard line. We're at 2nd and 15. Man in motion. And a pocket breaking down. This ball is tipped and it's McGlenn who picks it off. Cameron McGlenn bringing it back and it's stripped from behind. Loose and Clasper falls on it. And finally he is blown dead, but it's an interception and fumble recovery. And the Guangzhou Power get the ball back, trailing 38-35 with 7:46 to play.
So turnover for turnover here, and let's watch this. This is what we practice, all of us, from the time we were the age of those kids at halftime that we saw right up till the drills yesterday here in the practice fields of Beijing. It's called the tip drill, and if you can get a finger on the ball at all, funny things can happen. And let's see who got the first tip here, Mick. It was McGlenn who came down with it afterwards, and then it looked like he was trying
to. On the defense, number 2. 5-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Oh, so they're going to wave off the interception. Illegal contact by the defense negates the turnover. And even though it's a 5-yard penalty, it gives the ball back to Qingdao. That's huge.
It is. And I didn't see that flag come out, so I'll beg your pardon. It's away from my vision.
All of a sudden, we're hearing a lot from RJ Detillier. The flags are flying here.
On the foul, it's 2-0.
So we still have a first down play coming up. They're going to spot the ball at the 17-yard line. Gray goes in motion. Handoff goes to Jason Holman, just a few, maybe one.
Jason Holman, two-way player, very valuable in this league. You're going to see more two-way players than you have elsewhere. Randall probably shouldn't have thrown this ball. He was under pressure going backwards. The ball was tipped, as we said, and McGlenn comes away with it. But all of this didn't happen, folks, even though it's a very exciting play. And then McGlenn hit from behind as Reggie Gray hustles back. And the ball eventually recovered by Glasper, but penalty waved all of that off.
So here we sit, 38-35, Qingdao with the lead and the ball with 6:48 to play, looking at a 2nd and 10 at the 17-yard line.
Clock is becoming a factor, and it's a rolling clock until the final minute of play. It'll go fast.
They'll use the entire play clock to run things down.
And now you'll see them start to enforce the play clock here.
Oh, absolutely. Man in motion. And the toss to Tosun goes incomplete.
Tosun.
Yep. By Haltiar Tersun out of Qingdao. Playing for the Clippers, 6 feet, 154. You might have heard footsteps. Yeah, Jamal Giddens in the area.
Yeah, I should have caught that ball.
It's true.
There's Rod Miller, and he come out in the field, gives the play to his quarterback, Ryan Randall, veteran of the AFL out of Virginia Tech. He suffered a terrible injury playing in another league this year, trying to make a tackle on an interception, smashed his right hand into the wall and shattered it in about 5 places, but obviously he's recovered. There's Terry Valenti on the left. She's recovered as well.
Jong comes in motion to the near side. Gray on the right. Across the middle, Gray makes the catch in the open field to the 15 and knocked out of bounds at about the 12.
Well, this would be a huge touchdown if Qingdao can finish this drive. They would go up by 2 scores, and there'll be less than 5 minutes left, probably under 3 minutes by the time this drive finishes, and it'll be tough. Guangzhou, I think, came in as the favorite. You'd have to say Qingdao on the verge of a big upset here. If they can finish this drive, they're in real good shape.
I would think so. And really, one of the reasons why has been the play of Tersun and also Tianchu Zhang. You had 2 receivers of Chinese descent who picked up and have made some plays, including a touchdown.
But Reggie Gray, I think, is the player of the game up to this point. Brian Randall, quarterback, always so important.
1st and 10, 15-yard line. Randall
Nice.
throws to Soon, complete, inside route, and brought down at the 10.
Well, now I'm going to back up what you just said about Toussaint. That was a big-time play, and Randall checked off. That was not his initial throw. He made a quick decision, threw the easy out route to the boards, and picked up significant yardage. You see that helmet right there? Yeah, the X on the front of it. It's a revolutionary new helmet brought to us by our partners from Zenith. You can see it on the back there, the Zenith sign, XEN and the X in front. New helmet, new shoulder pads, all brought to us by Zenith. It's an amazing inside design. I'll be showing it to you later in the tour. I'll show you the cutaway of the almost like shock absorbers that are inside the helmet all through it. I've got one actually in my office. When we were negotiating this deal, we want to thank the folks from Zenith. Many players in the NFL, college football, all over football wearing this new helmet this year.
Some of the hits we've seen today, they needed it.
Yeah, that's right.
Two-step drop. Randall looks, pumps, throws, and slipping and falling was Reggie Gray, incomplete. If he could have stayed on his feet, maybe he would have had his 5th touchdown catch of the day.
Oh, I think so. Randall's been under a lot of pressure, and at the end of the half threw an incredible touchdown pass when he got away from the pressure and off balance threaded the needle to Gray for the touchdown. That time didn't get away with it. Best pass defense in the world is your pass rush.
True. Another look at it. One-on-one, Gray
nice
versus Gray.
Oops. Oh, they both slipped. They both fell down.
That happens. New turf, new field, little slick. 3rd and 5 at the 10-yard line. Still a 3-point game. Qingdao the lead in the ball with 3:08.
Yeah. You think about field goal here, Mick, if you don't get this?
Possibly. Holman in motion. They're going to run behind him.
Ooh, nice
and
tackle.
Tanner Varner. That's the play that I believe they scored a touchdown on in the first half.
But a great hit by McGlenn. A squared up tackle. And if we have a replay of this, watch how McGlenn does use his headpiece and his shoulders to get the head in front of Varner. If he doesn't put the head on the front side, Varner probably breaks that. You see how he got the head across, didn't lead with it as an attack weapon, but got his body in a good enough position to stop the forward motion of Varner.
Could be the play of the game, 4th and 3 at the 7-yard line, and they're going to go.
They're going to go for it because you know what? 3 points doesn't do them any good anyway.
Right.
Puts them up 6.
So they're looking for the score. The Qingdao Clipper, there it says it all. Time and score, right? 38-35, and he looks up with 2:19 to go.
This is a huge play. I said under 3 minutes ago, if they can somehow convert and keep the clock running, they're in real good shape.
Going to call the timeout here too, possibly.
Going to use all the time.
Oh, why not? Take it down and timeout.
Let's take a break. You're watching the CAFL. Qingdao 38, Guangzhou 35. We'll be back with the exciting Finish Beijing right after this on One World Sports. It's the CAFL, the China Arena Football League, the Super Series 2016, and you're enjoying it on One World Sports.
Work day. Hey, hey. Let's get it.
Qingdao, baby. All the way from VA. Yeah.
Well, welcome back. The Judge. Yeah, one league has the Duke. This league has the Judge. The Judge is a Spalding football. And Spalding putting the Judge, that's Marty Judge's signature.
Our founder, just like Mara, the Duke, for the NFL at various times. And Spalding is our official sponsor of all the game balls being used here. Spalding is huge in China. They provide the game ball for the CBA, the China Basketball Association. In fact, we're in the arena where the Beijing Ducks, led by Stephon Marbury, play their game. Holds 19,000 people, and we've got 6,000 or 7,000 people here today for the first ever arena football game in the history of China.
This is it. 4th and 3 at the 7-yard line. If Qingdao scores here, they go up 2 scores and maybe put this game away. If they don't, the door is open for Guangzhou, down by 3 to come back. So here we go.
Yep.
4th and 3 at the 7. Randall has 2 receivers, Boyce, who comes in motion now, and also Gray on the right. Looking for Boyce to the end zone. Caught! It's incomplete! It's incomplete! And Guangzhou still has a chance with 1:33 to play.
McGlenn never gave up on the ball. Boyce at 6'4", 6'5", had the peak of his jump and had the catch initially, but watch McGlenn, number 20, never give up on the play. Here he comes. There's 20. You see McGlenn come in from the back and swat it away volleyball style?
Because if he doesn't do that,
that's a touchdown. That's right. That's the defensive play of the game right there.
Well, now can J.J. Raderink and company and the Guangzhou Power capitalize and come back and steal one away from the Qingdao Clipper?
Right now, J.J. Raderink has the opportunity to atone with some good for a couple of bads.
Correct.
He's thrown 2 interceptions, one to a Chinese linebacker, and then just a moment ago on a great play by Tanner Varner, still, it looked like that turnover might lead to the game-winning touchdown. It did not, and now J.J. has the ball in his hand with a chance to steal it.
Here we go. Well, he's looking. There he is. Looks at the clock. And funny thing is, when I was at practice the other day, they were running that 2-minute drill, spiking the ball, running the line.
I thought you were going to say, thank God we had a clock up there, so he knows.
Yeah, there were some issues with that too.
Yeah, there's a backstory, folks. Call me or write me at ltilly@tilly.tv.
There you go. 1st and 10, 7-yard line. Time running. Then they're going to run the football, and the Hulk goes out of bounds. It stops the clock.
I like it. And they're going to stop it with 1:01. At 1 minute, we'll get a stoppage.
1 minute.
And they're going to make the 1 minute warning right now. That's Jake Metz trying to fire up his defense.
They're in effect. Blue has 3 timeouts left. White has 3 timeouts. 1 minute.
2nd down. And just a few, probably about 2nd and 4, it looks like, coming up with a football spotted right near the 15-yard line.
So they didn't mind chewing up 30 seconds there because they don't want to leave any time on the clock here.
Right.
JJ's going to try and massage this ball down and score at the wire. So we're going to keep it right here. 38-35, Qingdao leads. Guangzhou on the ball, Lou Tilly, Nick Moneyhop on the play-by-play call. And Sandra Parks has been with us on the sidelines in her first game ever on TV. What a job she's done. And the first ever professional football league game ever played here in China. We're in Beijing in the LeTV, or the LeSports arena, home of the Beijing Ducks, Summer Olympics basketball. And it's the China Arena Football League, the CAFL. For more information, go to our websites in the States and North America, CAFLfootball.com. And you can even take a look at our website inside of China, because it's kind of interesting, CAFLchina.com. And from there, you can link right through to all our video content, our weekly This Week in the CFL show, and you can even watch the replays of these games. And I think you can take a look at our Chinese broadcasters and how it sounds in Mandarin.
Absolutely.
There's some of our cheerleaders who are leading the crowd in the YMCA.
And why not?
It's universal, baby.
This has been one entertaining game. 38-35, Qingdao leading the Guangzhou Power. We're set to resume play with a 2nd and 4 at the 15-yard line.
And look up on the scoreboard of the Jumbotron right now.
Happy birthday to Ken Bozart.
Yep. Our director of operations from back home in New Jersey. Happy birthday, Ken Bozart. I don't know what number it is, but I'll bet it's not as high as ours, Mick.
No, and I'm sure he wouldn't tell us either. Well, the defense has to come up big for Qingdao here as J.J. Raderink and Dwayne Brooks, Yu Fu, Shinda Chow, All line up. In motion goes Chow. Radderink throwing to the tight end who's wide open. And that's going to be David Wong. David Wong, the first round pick, pulling one out here.
Remember I called that a couple minutes ago?
You
I
did.
said watch for that play. And they saved it for the best. David Wong, a big offensive guard, the #1 draft choice. Look at him motor. He was eligible as a receiver, and he knew what to do with it when he caught it. Hey, it's like at the press conference the other day when we threw the ceremonial first pass.
That's right.
Marty Judge to David Wong, and he caught it then, and he caught it now.
Wow, there's still plenty of time. The clock moving at 40 seconds. A 2nd and 2. That's going to be a 1st and 10, rather. 1st and 10 at the 15-yard line.
And JJ taking his time. I'm nervous. He's not.
He's not. He's been down this road many, many times. Man in motion. Shin to Chu. Pocket breaking down. JJ's going to get rid of it.
That's a
lateral. It's loose. He tried to throw it over the wall and couldn't get it over the wall. Who's got it? Qingdao Clipper say they have it.
And if they do, that's the game.
And the Qingdao Clipper have it.
22 for Qingdao, just did a cartwheel in celebration. I've never seen that before.
Well, he ought to. That's Tianchu Zhang. He caught the touchdown as the first Chinese player to make a touchdown in this league.
See,
take a look.
Even they didn't go over the wall, it's a lateral. See, you go backwards?
Right.
It was a forward pass, but it was a lateral behind the line. It's a live ball.
David Wong had a chance, but he couldn't come up with it.
Now the question is, did it hit the wall? Should it have been blown dead? And I think that's what they're talking about down there.
Because we are inside the final minute with 1 minute timing rules.
Yes.
So it may not. I want to see how they call it.
But there's no replay.
This is true.
And what was the ruling on the field? It was a recovery by Qingdao, and it's going to stand. JJ's not happy about it.
Nope. So Qingdao gets the turnover. Call it a fumble or a fumbled lateral, actually. Qingdao has it. 1st and 10 at the 24-yard line. And with 23 seconds to go, they can really take a knee, and this game will be over.
Now they got to get forward motion.
That's true. Handoff here, and it's Farner who runs up to the 20-yard line. The clock will run.
Timeout called by Guangzhou. And now the clock is running again, so I was wrong. The clock is going to run out. Qingdao is going to win the first ever game in the history of the CAFL, the Qingdao Clipper. And will be in their hometown in a couple of weeks for the Super Series. The Qingdao Clipper are going to win the first game ever in the history of the CAFL. How about that?
Not only a historic day for the CAFL, but a historic day for Tianchu Zhang, who had the first touchdown. Celebration time, and why not?
And handshakes. These guys have been training together, all 6 teams, as one big family all across the world, and great sportsmanship, and they should be very, very proud of themselves. Steve Criswell, the assistant coach for Guangzhou from the Philadelphia Soul. Look at this young man right here. Look how happy is he. Looking for his friends and family. I'm a star, baby! Brian Randall, well done. His touchdown pass at the end of the first half, in my opinion, was the most important clutch play that we saw in this game.
And he had 5 touchdown passes, did Randall today, and Reggie Gray with 4 touchdown catches, and of course the first ever touchdown reception by a Chinese receiver in Tianchu Zhang. And we'll go downstairs as Sandra Parks is standing by with a winning head coach and Rod Miller.
Well, hello everybody， 各位观众，我们现在是跟我们的赢得第1场全国美式室内橄榄球赛的教练 Rod Miller， 还有我们的 star 球员、明星球员张天初，第1个中国球员接到我们的打正得分。How are you feeling right now? How are you guys feeling right now? Being the very first team to win the Chinese arena football.
It feels great. We talked about it all week, getting prepared to come out and try to get the first victory in history, and it feels very good to do it. This guy here helped us get it.
你现在觉得如何？你是第1个中国球员打正得分，跟大家观众讲一讲你的想法吧，你的感觉吧。
我只是按照战术的安排、教练的安排去跑，认真去做好自己的事情就可以了。对，我只是按照我们的战术去跑动，认真完成自己的任务。
很恭喜你们 ，Congratulations again. Now back to the guys.
All right.
Great work by Sandra today, huh?
Absolutely.
Way to go, Sandra. Yeah. Yeah.
38-35. The Qingdao Clipper over the Guangzhou Power. Like we said, Brian Randall with 5 touchdown passes, Redrick Gray with 4, but maybe stealing the show, Tien Chu John with the first ever touchdown by a Chinese player in the CAFL.
Man, I am so impressed. And look, this is what I rode over on the bus with these guys. There was deadly silence on that bus from nerves, and that's a good thing. They were so excited. Jake Metz from Philadelphia, look at that, all the way here in Beijing, China. And they've worked so hard. And they wind up winning the first game ever in the history of China. And a Chinese player scores a touchdown. A Chinese player makes an interception. They played great on defense. They played their position well. There were very few mistakes of execution here. It was a crisp, excellent performance. And I want to thank you, Mick, and Sandra down on the sidelines. And I want to thank all of our operations people, John Anderson, Leo Swituka, our entire production team, Wu and Dayton, and Ken Bozarth and Derek Branch and Ed Wang. We're going to see you again, though, at 7 o'clock, our second game coming your way from China. It's the CAFL on One World Sports.